Good evening. I'm Dictator Phil, and thank you for being here. Now, normally, the Versa Media crew is usually in an uplifting spirit or entertaining mood, but tonight is a little bit more subdued. You see, a few days ago, Sean released a video detailing a vast number of sexual assault complaints within the Young Americans for Liberty organization. We here at Versa Media thought that we were very pleased with the research and commentary provided in that video. However, after releasing the video, we started receiving multiple complaints and negative feedback. I have to say it's an unfortunate situation, but the only thing we can do at this point is just provide as much context as we can and go from there. So, without any further ado, I would like to introduce the content creator of the video, Sean.
Yeah. So this is something that we've been working on for a while, or I should take the responsibility here, and it's been a month in process because it's a lot to go through. I mean, it's on Twitter and some news outlets picked up on it, but we figured let's fill the void that nobody else is filling. Let's talk about something nobody else is talking about for the greater good. And since we released it, I mean, it didn't exactly get the reaction we expected. I mean, there were some people that were just saying it's old news, like, why are you bringing this up now? But then it started to get worse. Like, people were then saying, oh, you're cloud chasing. You're using the victims. And I'm like, in the moment, like, look. I bet many people are probably like, nah. But the more I thought about it, I was like, I hear people saying we're starting drama and we're just stepping on people's privacy, like talking about things that are really difficult and personal, and putting a video out there of all this. It was just out of character for the channel, and I don't know. The more I started hearing things, the more it got to me, and the more I realized that we were not going the direction that we want to. But the breaking point really came yesterday, and that's when we all got really serious about this. We all really started to think about it because we had some Yao members reach out to friends of ours, and they were basically demanding that this was just a step in the wrong direction. We completely overstepped things, and we need to take the video down. They were asking us to take the video down, and it seemed pretty serious. I mean, video's been getting close to 200 views, and it's been sent to many Yao members. It's been circulating around, and I mean, they really want that video deleted. And I want to respect the people involved with the organization, respect the victims, and respect everyone in all this. Anyone that's involved, like, I think we need to be cognizant of. So today we were, actually, it came to a point where we thought we gotta delete this video. And I know it's hard for me to say, like, it's still really hard. It's really hard for me to say it, but I think we're gonna have to delete the video. But actually, no, we're not deleting the video. No, fuck, no, we're not deleting that video. That video's gonna get blasted everywhere. We're gonna send it to everyone. We ain't leaving. We're not fucking leaving. We're sending this video everywhere.
We're not fucking leaving.
We're not fucking leaving. We're not leaving. We are.
To all the Yao members who thought it'd be a good idea to go and try to harass our friends about this, go and suck a fat cock.
Are you kidding me? You, of all the people that you thought was gonna take this fucking video down, did you really think that any group with a person named Dictator Phil, you think anyone, like any group with that person in the group, is gonna take a fucking video like that down? Get the fuck out of here.
No, you know the gall of these people. They think they think they have the right to demand that we take down a video calling out public information. We are taking what's publicly posted and showing it just going like, hey, this is all the stuff that's been seen. So we're not deleting it. No. We're going to blast this everywhere. We're going to keep tweeting it out. We're going to keep telling people about it. We're going to make sure everybody sees
Sean,
this.
I heard a little birdie. So Sean, a little birdie told me that another video might be in the works. Is that is true or not? True or false? What's the deal?
That's real news.
That is real.
Yeah. Better than the first one, Electric Boogaloo.
Sometimes sequels are better than the originals. We'll see if we can live up to that standard, but I mean, we've received other stories. I've learned a bit more. Well, hey, I've learned a lot, and so I think a follow-up is in order to address this and to really show that we did everything exactly fucking right. When you get this kind of reaction from these kind of people, you know you're doing the right thing. Okay? That's the thing that's really telling. There are people that don't care. There are people that watch it, maybe not say anything, keep it all internal. But the people that go out of their way to harass friends of ours, that are just simply guests on the show and demand we take down a video, can go fuck themselves so hard that they bleed. You really think we are the type of people that would actually, one, care for that kind of criticism?
No, it's actually beneficial because that means they watched our video.
Yeah. Give it a like.
Thank you for
thanks for watching the video.
Yeah, thanks.
That was actually, I have to say, as an outsider for that particular video, that was a really good job. Really good job on that video.
Oh, thank you.
I agree. It's probably the most well-produced thing on this channel, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible, and obviously, like, I just watched it and I thought, oh wow, this is a well-made video. And then of course when people started blowing up on our shit, like, you know, now I'm like, oh yeah, this is really good.
You struck a nerve.
Yeah, I think too. It's interesting to see, because I can't name names, but not just who reacted the way they did, but how. You know, it wasn't just like, wow, I didn't know about this, man, or, oh, come on, man, like, you know, it's not that big of a deal. It wasn't any, like, mild criticisms. They were, like, some nasty ones. There were some just, like, they were all nasty, actually. What am I saying? Not some. They were all just very vicious, and that's where I thought, ooh, we're on to something. Because I've heard when you hear extremely positive and extremely nasty, but the positive outweighs the nasty, you're doing something right. And we're going to keep doing this. I mean, this is just one video. There's going to be more. And if you think after we did the Sargon of Akkad, Hunter Avalon event in Penn State, and if you're a loyal listener or viewer of the channel, you would know we've talked about this because we were being pressured to basically cancel that thing from everybody, and we didn't. We kept going forward. And you think one video is where we're going to be like, nah, step too far, delete. No. You
know what really bugs me? You know what really bugs me about this whole thing? Like, there was so much energy that was put into the complaints aimed at you, and aimed at us, really. But like, you would think that, like, they spent so much energy. If they spent as much energy unleashed on you as they did on the fucking 3 women that actually show up to fucking YowCon, then maybe they would actually get more women. Well, actually, that's probably not a good way to say it, because maybe they did show a lot of energy, maybe a little too much energy toward the few women that actually showed up. But I mean, like, there's just so much, like, you would think that, you know, if they treated them like legitimate people instead of like pieces of meat, or, you know, then maybe more women would show up.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and that honestly, like, not to get too serious, but that really is like the reason I decided that this video needed to be made was because I saw these allegations, and everybody I talked to about it was hearing it for the first time from me. I'd be like, "Yo, you seen this Yao 2 stuff?" They'd be like, "What are you talking about? I haven't heard of that." And these are people that are in college, people in these circles, not just some randos on the internet. And so I thought, okay, this is a big deal because it involves the president of the organization, the vice president, and many other staffers and many members. It's a top to the bottom, bottom to the top scandal. And so I just saw, like, somebody needs to talk about it. There's nobody on YouTube talking about it. So, like, we need to talk about it because there are legitimate concerns here. There are lots of allegations that I personally believe are mostly true, at the very least. And it just needs to be talked about more. I mean, people are getting abused and nobody seems to be caring. And it's messed up.
We've been around like people that have, like, even from the whole Penn State thing, and like none of us were fucking surprised. Like look at these stories, like, nope, they're the local chapters definitely had some fucking cringe people in it. So yeah, there was nothing,
They had some chimpanzees, as Alex would call them.
Yeah. No, I mean, you hear about all these incels grouping up, and then you're surprised. People are surprised when they see that, molestations going on.
This is what happens when incels get organized.
Yeah, like, honestly, is anyone really that surprised that this happened?
Well, honestly, the thing that surprised me was just, like, because I've heard stories, but I never heard stories that were this bad.
I'm more surprised that people actually, women actually showed up to this, in all honesty.
Yeah, honestly.
Well, I mean, it's like a total, like every meeting and everything that I've, like, everything that we've heard, and even like because your girlfriend did a little bit of that, like it, and she was like she was always talking about how much of a fucking sausage fest it was, and like it's just not, like, it, like, when you have that bad a ratio, shit's gonna happen. Shit's gonna happen.
Oh my god, it'd be funny if someone did like a Project Veritas infiltrate a fucking Yao conference.
Well, if we need to do a third video, if we need to make a trilogy here, and we have the balls to do that, we could make that happen.
Yeah, I think they'll probably be on the lookout for us. Like,
we're probably blacklisted.
Oh my god, see anyone who's like not like autistic, in their own words, they call themselves autistic, and like in half these allegations, the funniest part was like, oh, so and so called me autistic, but then when I brought this up, we realized that he was actually autistic too. But you can't make that shit up.
I know, and that's where I'm saying, like, there's a level at there's this sort of entry level where I'm not too surprised, but then there's like this, oh shit, this is worse than I thought it was, sort of surprise. Because I'd heard some like stories of like guys being awkward, saying some sexually inappropriate things, and just the whole organization being kind of culty and unprofessional and unethical in some of their practices, professionally or unprofessionally, technically. So there's kind of like, yeah, I'm going to steer clear, not really the thing I want to get involved with, not even really a libertarian. So it just gave me bad vibes, but I didn't think it was like worse than the rapiest of rapey frats on campus. Like, it's pretty freaking bad. Like,
well, the fucking people at the top. Like, that's what's really disturbing. Like, it's one thing if you have like some fucked up members and you get rid of them,
because that can happen in any organization that's big enough. You're gonna have bad apples, but the tippy top, and these are the only ones we know about. Like, keep that in mind. That to me is where people forget that this is just what we know about. There's probably way more, and maybe even way worse.
Well, see, people want to shit on the Catholic Church because the priests were caught molesting. This would be like if the Pope was caught fucking kids.
Yeah.
Like that's where we're at right now. Like, the entire organization from the top to the bottom, it seems, based on these allegations, if they are true, indicates that there is, disturbing bullshit happening at every level.
And the one thing I forgot to mention too earlier was that some of the people that messaged me were saying things like, "Oh, this has already been dealt with. Oh, it's already handled. The people have been fired." No, bullshit. No, look, that's 100% false. There have only been 2 people fired. The first person got fired after quite a while, and the second person didn't get fired till a month later, and that's Grease, the VP. He didn't get fired till a month later, and there's still lots of people involved that were either that did nothing about, that knew about what was going on, did nothing, and people that did do awful things, that did do some of these things these allegations claim, and they still work for and the worst ones are they're fired but rehired. Again, this is not over. It's not cleaned up. It's not dealt with. That is if anybody tells you this is over, they don't see the bigger picture here. It's not just 1 or 2 people. Yeah, exactly. And it's like the people. It's kind of like, think of it this way. Imagine if we had the Me Too scandal, but only Harvey Weinstein was ousted and jailed in Hollywood. And there were all these other people that did awful things that never, faced consequences. That's what it would literally be like, Imagine if Kevin Spacey never faced consequences, or, well, I guess it kind of isn't, but you know what I mean. It's kind of like, you take out the worst of the worst, but you're not taking out the whole freaking the network here.
Well, yeah, and then they're harassing this channel. They're harassing your friends over this. That's really they're fucking called at this point. Based on stuff that I'm hearing from certain individuals. If I was in a company and I heard that some shit was going down, honestly, especially if I'm not currently I would keep the fuck clear of that. Because if they were, I'm not gonna they don't have to go and start harassing you. That's basically
right.
It's like some Nexium shit minus the hot chicks. They're just fucking. I'm waiting for them to sell me a seminar and fucking brand me and shit.
Yeah, it's so weird. That's what I tried to say in the video. I know this was near the end, and it was my more analytical. It was my hot take portion of it, where I wanted to say stuff that was a bit of a hard pill to swallow, a little bit of a hard red pill, but it was a red pill that needed to be swallowed, which is that there's just something wrong with this organization. I mean, there's some good people in it, like anything, but at the end of the day, there is a systematic cultural problem, and it's very apparent just from observations, just by seeing the type of people that go into and the type of people that stay in it. And if you don't see that, you should know about that. If you think this is what a organization should look like, you are mistaken. I'm sorry. I bring up even stuff like, not that just that there's a lot of men, but there's a lot of, and I'm not trying to sound like an SJW, but a lot of straight white, well, theoretically straight white men. And
I don't know. I think a couple of them are in the closet.
People, they're basically doing the whole rape culture stuff that they're the left's hyperbolic about. It's these people that are creating that. And, makes the right look bad when we basically allow organizations like this to exist, and because then you're giving credence to this rape culture thing.
Exactly.
So we need to go and show them that, hey, this stuff, people aren't happy when actual rape goes down, when actual disgusting shit happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and that's why I think this is important, is not just, and I'm not trying to downplay it, but not just the women that have been harmed in this, but there is a much bigger rippling effect of this. And it could be happening in Turning Point too. I'm not saying it is or isn't, I don't know, but when you have mismanagement, when you have people that don't care, when you have people that don't say anything, it grows and grows and grows, and because people know that they can get away with it, and then they do. And I mean, it's very sad, but it's very, very good example of what a real rape culture looks like. Not this phony, oh, when you go to a college campus, rape It's accepted. It happens everywhere, and it's covered up. Yeah, there are cases where it does get covered up, but like Sandusky, that was from the top of the top. There were people complaining. There were people like with these frats. I know people that run these frats that run like the social parties. One person in particular is friends of ours, and he tells me like, dude, I report this shit all the time. Like when it happens, it doesn't happen that often. You know, it's not like a daily occurrence, but when it happens, it gets reported. Like people do hold people accountable for this, and account is held. Maybe not as much as we'd want it to be because it's a very difficult thing to prove, but people can be held accountable.
Yeah, no, I think that's the most important thing. People need to be held accountable. They haven't been being held accountable over in this organization. And the leadership not only enabled, but participated in, allegedly, this activity. And it took them until, you had to have a whole fucking, like, hashtag movement and tons of people blaring it out there to actually take action against this.
And even then, they still fully didn't. They still wouldn't fire the VP, who was just as bad as the president. Again, this is all allegedly, for anybody says calls that else out on that shit, but they were saying like, oh, we're gonna investigate it, and then they finally fired the president, but it took them a month to get rid of the VP. And even then, there's still lots of people that are still allegedly working there.
Well, yeah, have they actually made like a public service announcement or anything to address these?
Kind of ish. I remember one of the people that complained me said that, oh, they took full responsibility for this. No, they never did. They were just like, oh, we're going to investigate it. And the president, Maloney, when he was, when these allegations were starting to heat up, he first said, something very obtuse, and then he was like, character assassinations against the organization myself will not be tolerated. I was like, whoa, dude. They started basically, not to use a leftist term, but victim blaming, victim attacking, so they were kind of he started doing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always thought that what they did the YAL meetings was just sit around in a circle and jerk off to the pictures of Ron Paul. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, see that's again the cultiness that we're trying to say is like, yeah, they have this like fascination with like certain people. It's like really freaking weird.
To be fair, the College Republic, I mean, that you just replaced Ron Paul with Ronald Reagan, you got the CRs.
Hey, that's true. Maybe we gotta investigate them next.
God.
I mean, they did some bad shit. Penn State. Remember when they did the party?
Yeah, that was like back when they actually did edgy shit. Now, like their bad stuff would be like banging the college Democrats president and then like getting an abortion or something. That didn't happen to my knowledge, but it wouldn't surprise me.
And I bet if that happened, the membership would be like, "Oh my God, bipartisan! Wow, bridging a divide, unity, ooh, brave and bold." It's like, guys, get a grip. Oh,
yeah, we're big tent party guys. Just because we're engaging with these college Democrats on a sexual level, that doesn't mean that we agree with them on everything. Just 99% of anything that matters. It's just the taxes, those pesky taxes.
That's a perfect voice of a college Republican.
Ben Shapiro, like wannabe.
Exactly, dude. And that's what these people are, and it's just cringe. And I mean, look, I've been a chapter president, Turning Point. I know what these things are like. We all know what these things have been like. We've been in all these things, and there are lots of cool people. But you kind of seems like in these political realms, you get the best and the worst people at the same time. You get people that are really cool. They'll be your closest friends, and your people to be like your worst enemies, and they're total sociopaths. Like you'll get that.
Oh yeah, and with great power comes great grifters.
Should put that on a T-shirt.
I went into YAL because I was trying to get chicks, but the chicks never came.
I wonder why.
It was so horrible.
Yeah, dude.
I had to get her to jerk me off. Because if she was the only woman there,
Oh
if she
god.
would have left, I don't know what I would have done.
No wonder that people are so pro prostitute. You know, that's probably half the women they can own. Like the only women they ever get are prostitutes.
Oh my god.
You know, as a libertarian, I support prostitution because otherwise they wouldn't get laid.
Yeah, it's her body, damn it. If she wants to sell it, go for it.
As long as she doesn't rip me off, you know. It's okay.
Yeah, guys, but it's just, they're not hurting anyone. Like, let them be. Let them live and let live.
Yeah, until they go and start, molesting the prostitutes. Almost, you violated my NAP by giving me chlamydia.
See, I'm surprised nobody has said anything stupid. Like, well, these sexual allegations sound bad, but it was on private property, and you could do what you want, right? It's like, dense.
That's not the real issue. Let's talk about eminent domain. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, the issue's on the lips of the American people right now. Oh, God. I mean, we could rip them all day. And this isn't any, vendetta against or libertarians, but it's a problem.
Well, libertarians, we've made videos about them, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, we beat them up verbally.
We've had a lot of fun at their expense.
Yeah, we do. I'm not gonna lie, we do. But this video was made with a more serious intention this time around, which maybe that is what's unusual about this channel. Maybe we should have, I can't allow serious videos. But it's about we really don't have a side on this as to we love we hate I mean, well, actually kind of do hate the organization. It's pretty cringe, but I don't like a lot of these organizations, so it's not like I know I'm not gonna take them down. I know it's nothing that's gonna be like the end all be all or it's some personal vendetta, but it's trying to inform, persuade, and wake people up. It's kind of like you should know about what's going on, and you should see the bigger picture here. But that's just kind of my thoughts.
Wake up, liberty lovers.
Yeah. Yeah, they use all these weird terms over. It's the same culty terms. It's we're the liberty movement. We need to make the liberty movement better. We need to make liberty win. Liberty. Oh, fucking hell.
Liberty Mutual.
Liberty. How's that? Yeah, the jingle. It's liberty, in their ads.
That should be their theme song, Liberty.
Yes. Oh, God.
Those people need help.
They do. Yo, you know who does need help? The people of Texas right now. Holy shit. Texas just got frozen. It's still frozen. And we have people like Donnie out there. Props to her, giving people some food. I don't know if you guys saw on social media, but she got a big bundle of HelloFresh food boxes and started handing them out to people, which is pretty awesome. And a bunch of windmills are frozen, but hey, that's not the real problem here, guys. It's Republicans.
Where's Yao? Yeah, where's Yao over there? I don't see them, delivering food, doing actual stuff to help people.
Yeah, they're the ones that
too
love
busy.
charity.
Clearly, you didn't listen to the beginning of this fucking podcast. They're too busy trying to get that one chick at their meetings to jerk them off.
Yeah, it's they're the people that love talking about charity so much, and I don't see them doing anything for charity, anything charitable ever.
Yeah, well, actually, that's a very interesting thing because Texas is a very pretty libertarian state with regards to their energy stuff, and that's what caused this whole thing. You have all these fucking weird energy companies with these fucking entrepreneurs, and that's at least that's where I'm hearing.
Well, the governor, it's interesting because the governor, this is one of his knocks, right? He's sitting on a fucking a state full of oil, yet he's like trying to embrace like alternate energy. Like it's
Yeah.
because of his shit. It's in part because of his bullshit that they're in this damn mess. Like
I thought the issue was it didn't winterize, right? Like there was like natural
that's
gas.
part of it. No, there's multiple shit that went wrong with this whole situation, and that's part of it too, right? They didn't winterize, but like, yeah, well, I mean but not being able, like, the windmills were freezing and shit. Like, first of all, why are you, like, if in the cold weather, why the fuck would you rely on a fucking windmill? You're retarded. Like, no, and I'm sorry, and look, and this is an example. This Texas debacle is an example why uh we should never give up fossil fuels like, because of the cold. Look, the cold weather, there's nothing that beats gas, coal,
Well, the pipeline still
oil.
the pipeline still froze for that shit too, though. Let's be fair. It wasn't like
Yeah,
it was
but
like
there's other shit. Like, just because the pipeline's fucked doesn't mean that other shit can't be accessible. Like, there's a lot more accessible shit from a fossil fuel standpoint than there is alternate energy. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? What, are you gonna charge a bat? You're gonna get a battery? How the fuck are you gonna charge that shit? What are you gonna do? There's nothing you can't grow a fucking algae pool when it's fucking cold as shit out down there. When it's like 20 degrees, you're fucked. Like, there's nothing that beats it. And I'm all for, look, I'm all for searching for alternate energy and stuff. Like, I'm all for that. But you're gonna need something better for the cold. Like, you're just gonna
Nuclear,
need something
baby.
better.
Crank it out. Get them nuclear power plants up. That's my favorite of the alternatives. I don't know how well it
Yeah.
does in the cold. I would think it would do pretty. I don't know if there'd be a problem.
I don't think it would matter. I don't think it would make a difference in the cold. Like, it's like if
No.
you would winterize the pipelines, and if you would have, and you could probably find ways to winterize that shit too. Put like a heater or something in there, or just don't use windmills because they fucking suck.
Yeah.
Like, no matter who you are, they're shit. They're the dog shit of the alternative energy gang.
Yep.
Like, why? Why would you think of using that?
Yeah, windmills. I mean, I get why they have them in Texas because there's probably a lot of wind in all these open areas, but that's only good for part of the time. And most of the, I mean, well, I should say most time it's fine, but when you need other things, I think the answer to this is something the left should agree with: diversity. Diversity is our strength here. You need your nuclear, you need your solar, but you also need maybe some coal and some gas. I mean, for now at least, maybe someday if we put those nuclear power plants up, we can get rid of that shit. I've always been the pro-nuclear type of guy. I just got more pro-nuclear as this thing continues. And if anybody ever tries to get in your face about green energy, is like, oh, we need to get rid of all this gas and coal. The first thing you need to ask them is, are you pro-nuclear? And if they say no, or if they go, well, actually, then they're not serious. They don't know what they're talking about. Ignore them.
Yeah. No, I think. Yeah, I think nuclear is probably the way to go. Like, you need to have a good baseline energy source. I think for Texas, I don't think natural gas was that bad, but they didn't winterize that shit. That was their like idiot option, and I think the reason why they didn't is because it was basic. Like, from what I was told, is in Texas, it's like a fucking wild west of like energy suppliers. It's like this libertarian wet dream, and I think that's what caused some of the issues.
I think Governor Abbott is going to be on his way out because there's already been, tensions with his base, with Texans, over talking about mask mandates and being a bit sort of, I guess you could say, a bit too centrist on it, a bit too obtuse, not really taking a firm stance one way or the other. Whereas DeSantis has been killing it and has been loved. Abbott, really he isn't loved anymore, and I think this is hurting him big time too. And you could see a challenger take him out. I wouldn't want to be Greg Abbott today.
I mean, I wouldn't mind being fucking Greg Abbott. You know, get all that fucking salary. You know, I bet he still has power in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you see what happened to Ted Cruz?
Oh yeah, Uncle Ted. He was away in Mexico, and had to come back because of what's going on. What do you guys think of that? Because I have kind of mixed feelings.
Like, honestly, like, from an optics standpoint, it looks terrible. But like, if you want to be realistic about, like, what the fuck else is he gonna do? What's he gonna seriously do? You know?
It's kind of my thoughts, except, because I don't know this. When did he leave for the vacation? Was it before this stuff started going down? I'll fact check that, because that to me is where I'm kind of like, well, if he left before, like, I mean, he's got to come back then. So what else can he do?
Well, he's not the governor. Like, he's a senator. What the fuck can he do?
That's true. He's a senator, which means he's a talker. And honestly, I think one lesson to take away from this is, regardless of what you think of the facts here, put them aside, because that's kind of what most people do in their brains. The way the Democrats are using this is very effective. Like, it is objectively very effective how they're using it against him. Those pictures in the airport of him, traveling home, whereas all these people are struggling and they're freezing in their homes. You have people freezing in their homes with, like, the perfect contrast: Ted Cruz in warm, sunny Mexico. And it's a bad look. And they're using it to their advantage effectively, but does it really matter? Technically, no. That's the thing. Is like,
do you think this is gonna be long-term stick, or do you think this is gonna be like when they caught Bernie on the the professional class, whatever the fuck the fancy ass class is on the airport?
If it's part of a pattern,
I don't think it'll stick.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think it's gonna stick to Ted Cruz. I think Governor Abbott.
Yes.
I think he's
in bigger trouble.
Stick to him. A lot of the mayors that are in a lot of these cities, it's gonna fucking burn them too. But yeah, I don't think Ted Cruz. I don't think it's really gonna matter too much for him, because like you said, well, he's a senator. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And
yeah. Oh, high metal for life in chat. I see that you're angry this evening.
Oh boy.
She wanted to hear about our Yao takes. Well, you got to rewind for that. I know that's why you're here, but yeah, no, I agree with you, Phil. I think it's like, he's a senator. It's not gonna hurt him. The only thing that could hurt him is like more stuff like this happens with him, and people see a pattern, and then it's kind of like, oh, he's an elitist. He's not really part of the people. Then it could have some stick, but this one instance, it's bad in the moment. Long term, won't matter.
Yeah, he was put in a no-win situation, basically. Because if he stayed, they probably would have found something else to bitch him about.
Yeah.
They would have been like, oh, well, you were staying in a hotel and there's people on the streets dying. You should have been living in a fucking car in your shelter. Like, they would have found something to bitch about one way or the other. That's just the way of politics.
Now, if I'm reading this correctly on Wikipedia, which, take a grain of salt, let me actually read the footnote articles on this. It sounds like he did leave when this started happening, which that's really bad. That's a really bad look, because it shows like you're going, oh shit's getting cold, time to leave my people behind.
Well, what's he really even gonna be able to do? I mean, like, realistically, what would he do? Like, I think the best option would have been like go to DC or something if he's gonna be escaping anyways, so he can go and like bitch about things.
Should just never have gone. I mean, it says this happened on Wednesday, I think. Was it this week or last week? When this shit started? God, my mind's all warped at the timing. happened on a Wednesday, and this article was written on the 19th. Okay, so I think it happened this Wednesday, like this past Wednesday. Yeah, and on Thursday he returned. Let's see. So the Houston police confirmed that the Sanders office had sought their assistance for the airport trip on Wednesday, and eventually Mr. Cruz was spotted wheeling his suitcase in Mexico on Thursday as he returned to the state he represents in the Senate. Yeah, that was a bad move, like a really, really bad move. I don't know what they were thinking. Because it'd be one thing if he left before this stuff started happening. When he left during it, bad, very bad. Yes, you are always angry, Mel for life. Oh, this guy called Pluffy Phil is in the chat. If I waste as much time as you did, yeah, I'd be pissed. That's a good comment. 10 points to Pluffy Phil in the chat. But yeah, the Texas thing, it's pretty crazy. Now, what do you guys think about the climate change argument? Do you think that snow in Texas is evidence of climate change?
No.
No.
Shit happens in seasons. You know, like look, like I was talking to my grandfather the other day, and we talked about like Pittsburgh shit. And he was saying that like back in the 50s or something, there was like a whole week where it was below 10 degrees. You know, and that was in the 50s. And like right now, people are like, oh, you know, like at least in Pittsburgh, I don't know about Texas, but you know, weird weather happens in cycles. Like, you know, it's funny because you'll see like all the time in the news, like, oh, you know, this weather, it was the first time we've seen this weather since X. And if climate change is causing this, then you would expect that to all be now. You know, and then another thing too with the climate change, you know, it started off with, oh, you know, the Earth's gonna go and fry, you know, the temperatures are getting warmer. Now it's like, oh well, you see, it's actually, you know, it's getting colder too. How like they keep changing the fucking goalpost.
Well,
You know, Al Gore said like by the year 2020 the ice caps will be melted.
nobody knows what the fuck is going on. That's
I agree.
ultimately that's the thing. Like,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, you know, it'd be nice to be mindful. Like, how about there's other problems that we have to worry about other than, like, you know, climate change, like, you know, overpopulation. Like, there's too many you fuckers in this world, man. We need like a world war, you know? We just like a world war where just like half the world is just blown the fuck up. You know, start getting rid of people. No, no.
Okay,
like,
Thanos.
Exactly. Well, no,
Thanos did nothing wrong.
50% is too low. We need to like up those numbers. Like, we need like
Thanos didn't finish the job. He didn't go hard enough. Should have snapped twice.
Yeah, that was the problem. You know, just half. Jeez. Look, no, because there's a couple studies that actually that say we might actually be past our carrying capacity for like
They've been
people.
saying that since the 1700s. Like, look at Malthusian, I think was the dude who originally said it.
Well, yeah, but like, and they were like, well, yeah, and then they argued, well, economists argue, oh, they didn't think about technology and like the innovations of technology. And of course, you know, it's like, well, is technology helping the situation, or is it just burning through the world's resources faster? Like, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, look, 7 billion people, that's a lot of fucking people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a lot of people. You got like places like China and India that have like over 1 billion people. It's like, look, you can't operate. Like, you can't operate in a fucking, when it's that crowded. Holy God. Imagine being in a bus in China or something like that. Like, you're crammed all your.
Well, they have different. Like, you have to go and look at China though, because you have a lot of people in one location. But if you look at the rest of the country, you know, like outside of Beijing and like a few of the major cities, it's like in the U.S. we have a bunch of people in New York City, a bunch of people in fucking California, but everywhere else it's like relatively small compared to that.
Yeah. China is like, yeah. I mean, at least China's big-ish, for a country.
Dude, like look at Russia. Look how big that country is with how little people live in there.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Like,
look at
you know,
India though. India is like
mm,
maybe a third of the size of the United States, and like, yeah, they got like a billion people.
And they're
yeah,
tightly packed in there.
yeah, no one. Yeah, I mean, they got, but still, there's places over there where you'd be surprised how few people there exist.
That's true.
You know?
Like China is mostly uninhabited, and this
Well,
country
like,
has a lot of uninhabited areas.
Yeah,
yeah,
but
like that's the thing. I think if we're gonna keep having more people, people are gonna have to start living in places like shitholes. Like the shitholes within the shitholes. Like living in the fucking Sahara Desert. Shit like that.
Like,
You know,
remember that thing that you showed me that Ghost in the Shell's based off of in China? That one city. Remember that
oh
thing?
yeah, that cow. Yeah, it was the Kowloon city.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That shit, like, that's
you,
one thing I think Cyberpunk would definitely be right on. Is like, you'll see more of that type of stuff come back. Maybe not as crazy as that, but like, kind of like that. And something nobody's considered, but it's a real thing. It's a very real thing. It's happening right now. It's happened before. Is man-made islands, man-made like land extensions. I mean, in Florida, there's man-made islands technically, not super huge, but you don't theoretically need things to be super huge. Just need a little bit of space, put a big ass skyscraper, and just put all your people in there.
yeah,
So
they might have to do that. But I
yeah,
think
like,
that we'll innovate. We'll find out ways like people don't really live in caves that much anymore.
or
You know.
underground. You can build up and you can build down. I mean, Elon's putting tunnels now in Miami.
Yeah, the only thing is, how will we build food? Maybe we'll have to like grow food on like Mars or something.
Or do what Bill Gates wants, which is you have this like cucked, what's it called?
Oh God, pull the X host
synthetic meat or some shit.
and
Yeah,
pull the
synthetic meat.
and eat bugs.
What was that?
So pull the V card and eat bugs.
I know who you're
What are
thinking
you,
of.
Timon and Pumbaa or some shit? What the hell?
See, that was a libertarian suggestion too. Oh, you'll be fine. Just eat bugs. You don't need food. You
We'll
don't need
just eat
money.
some warm spaghetti. How about that?
Oh God.
We'll
Didn't
have,
he
like,
say to eat plastic too?
Yeah, like he was saying some stupid shit. But like, it would be like Cyberpunk where they had that paste shit. It was like disgusting paste shit you'd be eating.
Oh God. I can't wait till I get my GPU. I'll never play. I'll play that game in 2077 at this rate.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll eventually get it.
Eventually. Maybe. Yeah, like I'll eventually get my car too.
Yeah, you probably get it on the same day, because you can at least go to the store when you get your car back.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully we get some restocks on Tuesday and maybe I can order one, but we shall see if they actually do stock back up because apparently it's going to get even harder to get them. But I'd love to have one so badly. What is Mel for Life saying in the chat? Global warming doesn't exist because I'm cold. Planned Parenthood everywhere and for free. Yeah. Oh.
Mandated Planned Parenthood. That's be like China. You're forced to get the abortion.
Yeah. Well, did you see what they did in South Carolina, where they introduced something they passed and signed something that's been signed in other states, a heartbeat bill where they banned abortions after you can detect a heartbeat, which is about 6 to 10 weeks ish.
I always felt like that's enough of time.
Me too.
I always felt like that's enough of time for you to figure out what the fuck you want to do.
That's always been my stance on abortion, as I've said. Well, always, as in the past few years, I've thought, well, if you can hear a heartbeat, it's alive and it's a human. That's a part of being a human. You take my heart out, I'm not human. I'm dead. So,
your brain, you can make that argument like, your heart's just like the engine, but like, your brain's like your CPU, man.
Yeah, I agree. The brain's like the CPU, the heart's like the GPU. You need them both.
Well, you don't really need a GPU.
Yeah, when you don't have dedicated graphics, yes, you do.
You
So,
don't have graphics, like.
what
But
was
no,
that?
I get what you're saying though. But like, no, I get what you're saying though. But like the heart, I mean, I agree with you. But like, I don't know, the heart, like it just it's a fucking motor, just pumps.
Well, the reason I say it is because it's the one clear line I can get people to agree on other than conception. Because when you talk about the brain, people say, like, well, it's not fully developed technically till you're 25. So, you don't think we should abort people then, do you? You don't think that to be the cutoff? I'm like, no, obviously. But, like, I think, because they think, like, oh, yeah, you're out of the body, your brain's not fully developed. So, obviously it's ridiculous getting an abortion. That's like, no shit. But your brain is always developing, but reaches a certain state where you're pretty well developed. But some people disagree on that. So I've always thought a clear place is a heartbeat. If you can detect a heartbeat, like, I mean, like, it's like when, you're pregnant, which, we've never been, but when you're pregnant and they put the little ultrasound on there and you hear the heartbeat, you cry, you're all overwhelmed with emotion because there's a baby in there. Your little Johnny's gonna come out someday.
Maybe unless you fail.
Yeah, you could have a miscarriage. Yeah, which it happens, but you know that is a living being then. And so I've always thought that's a clear spot. It's a clear line, and like Phil said, you can't make up your mind in 6 weeks. Sometimes it's 10 before you hear the heartbeat, but 6. You should not be having a child. I'm sorry, you shouldn't be having sex. Like, there's something wrong there. That baby should be put up for adoption then. But, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's a very divisive issue, man.
Oh, yeah.
Probably one of the most divisive issues in America.
Is there anything more divisive than abortion?
You can make the argument guns, but even now, like there's probably it's up there.
Well, I think guns became more divisive with the school shootings. Before then it was not as emotionally charged. I mean, it was, but it wasn't as much. Once you bring dead kids into it, it's like, oh my god, we need to ban all the guns.
Well, that's interesting though, because after these lockdowns, you start to see a lot of people start to change their opinions.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, well, look, does anybody laugh at doomsday preppers anymore? No, you don't.
Yeah, you ask them for their toilet paper.
Yeah, no, yeah, they scalp toilet paper and then they sell it to you double the price. But
aren't the same people who scalp toilet paper as graphics cards?
Yeah, they probably have bots. Well, see, they can't set up. Interesting question, actually, because the scalpers of graphics cards, they just sit in their mom's basements, set up bots to buy up all the cards. Where with toilet paper, you actually have to go out into the world and pick it up and keep it and then sell on eBay. Let's see if there's any toilet paper on eBay for insane prices. I need to check.
Yeah, like, thank God they fixed that. Like, it sucks the graphics cards are like in the shithole now, but like, man, at least at least I can wipe my ass on a potato and play my fucking RuneScape on a potato.
Oh, come on, you have an Intel card. You can wipe your ass with that.
Fucking brother's advice. Not listening to him again with that shit.
Yeah. I wish I was in the know-how, because I would have immediately just been like, no, you are not getting an Intel.
But here's the thing, too. Back then, AMD, like, I bought my shit at the wrong time. Because, like, I think a couple months later, they started to, like, wipe the floor. Because the previous one, like, Intel still was better, but, just barely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I bought it at the fucking wrong fucking time. If I would have waited...
Hey, I'm buying at the wrong time technically too.
At least go get something that's like.
Get something. Get something. We ain't getting something for years.
It's always the wrong time to buy computer shit because come out. at least maybe 20 years from now. But then again, you might not even own a fucking computer. It'll be like rent a computer.
Well, see, that's the thing that's because I thought when I was buying it, I was like, this is a great time because prices were down. I didn't have much to do. It's like, this is a good time to get back into gaming. And yeah, it was a good time for like 90% of my parts. But the two most important things, CPU, GPU, not here still. I made an order for the CPU a month ago. Radio Freedom says legalize abortions up to 76 trimester. Based, very based. Mel for Life says, bro, I'll abort someone 5th trimester. Oh man, we're going all the way to 5th. It's like the 5th element here. But no, it's just such a weird time because it's a good time but a bad time. It honestly is. It's like the best time because, I mean, it's amazing performance for amazing prices, but if you can get it, it's what it comes down to. So the CPU I should be able to get. I'm hoping next month. I'm hoping I'll get a shipment into where I ordered it from and I can get one. That's what I'm hoping for, but GPUs are gonna be a struggle. I think Nvidia actually messed that up, or intentionally. Yeah, I think there's some intentional shit too because Jay made a video on this. I just direct people to watch Jay's 2 cents video on it recently because there's a bit more devious things potentially going on. Toilet paper on eBay for 96 rolls, $43. For 18 mega rolls, $21. 15 rolls, $18. 24 rolls, $40. Whoa.
What depends on? Oh yeah, you know, at that point, you know, it's gone down to pre-pandemic prices mostly, I think.
I don't remember paying $40 for toilet paper over my life. I don't care how if they're mega rolls.
You find that Charmin shit, you know, that can get expensive.
It is Charmin actually.
That's why, because it's Charmin.
Charmin Ultra Soft Toilet Paper, 24 mega rolls, 264 sheets per roll.
Yeah, that shit's expensive. It's good. I love that toilet paper, but you know that'll fucking bankrupt your ass.
No pun intended.
Yeah, there's some porn out that like
oh, no.
a chick was gonna blow a dude for a fucking couple rolls of toilet paper.
I'm sure your friend told you about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
dude, I used to be in this fucking like this one neighborhood near me. There was like fucking $5 prostitutes allegedly walking around.
Allegedly, did you see one?
Yeah. I was at this like one store and she was complaining about the $5 prostitutes who would solicit near her like failing store that sold like Avon and shit.
Oh god,
it's the best gum job I've ever had.
Oh, dude, I'd feel like such a bitch if I paid $5 for anything like that.
You know, what do you want, Subway or you get your dick sucked? You know, it's a complete argument.
Either way, somebody's getting a foot long.
Like Subway too will probably fucking be rotten. You end up having to go and wash yourself out and get a disease.
Ugh.
Do you hear about that with the Subway though? Apparently their tuna salad was like allegedly not containing tuna.
Man, we need a drink every time we say allegedly. I heard something about them. I know my girlfriend basically had to stop going to Subway because she heard some stuff about them where their stuff really isn't legit. It's not really real shit. Let's Google it.
Good. I love their tuna salad. I don't care what the fuck they put in it, but their chicken's actually I think like only 40% chicken. Like for their regular chicken wrap or whatever the fuck they call it over there.
I like their sweet onion chicken teriyaki.
I liked when we got their shit there. It was like a cheesesteak style thing, like a cheesesteak styled like hoagie, where they put the meat on the cheese, and then we put what's it fucking called? Can't use words tonight. Guac. We put guac on it. We put those little leaves on it. We put some mushroom. That was good. We loved eating that. Let's find the Subway red pill. Let's see if it's on there. Wikipedia. Oh, remember Jared? Do you remember Jared?
Yeah, I remember him.
Mhm.
He's getting those footlongs for free now.
Oh,
Mhm.
Jesus. Yeah, that was pretty fucked. Italian hero, what is that? Animal welfare, controversy, sandwich size, franchise relations, ingredients. A 2020 Supreme Court of Ireland ruled that Subway bread had too high a sugar content to be classed as bread of VAT reasons, with its recipe including sugar equal to 10% of the weight of its flour. I don't give a shit. In 2021, a lawsuit was filed against the company alleging that ingredients Subway bills as tuna was a mixture of various concoctions that do not constitute tuna, yet have been blended together by defendants. That's a weird word. What does it mean? To imitate the appearance of tuna. Ew. Soy, protein, chicken products. Uh-oh. Back to the soy again.
To be fair, you're eating fast food. You're probably getting some soy shit in there.
There's a lot of
Especially
soy.
if stuff is healthy.
Yeah.
You're soy. Let's be real. We live in the soy boy land.
Yeah, we do. Radio Freedom says, I can get you a GT 730 GPU for cheap. What does that even mean?
I get you very good price. Very
You
good
don't know
price.
what GPU it is. It's probably not something you want.
Yeah. Sounds like a car. The GT 730. Let's see.
It's probably an old.
I give you both for a good price. Good price. Good.
Let's see. Let's fact. Oh, it's a $50 one. Oh, what, dude, this is a $50 GPU that goes into like, what is this? It just has like a fucking fan on. This is a fan. This isn't even a GPU, in my view. I look at this, I just see the fan.
Probably 10-year-old fucking GPU, or one of the ones that they use for like servers and shit, so they can like still do their thing.
Yeah, look at this shit. This is like, let's see, 2 gigabyte, 120-bit DDR3, core clock, 700 megahertz. Whoa. One HDMI, a DVI port. Wow. Now we're going back. PCI Express 2.0. Oh man, 96 CUDA cores. Wow.
Oh, it actually has CUDA cores.
Yeah. Oh, it's got VSync. Wow. Thank you. We're not trying to give you shit for you. Just think this is funny. Mel for life. You like lolies in your mouth. Disavow.
I didn't know about this development. What's going on there?
Full condemnation is in order.
Take a seat.
Take a seat.
Take a seat.
Oh god. Anyway, there was something else more important. Oh, because computers reminded me of it. The king himself, Deep fucking Value, aka Roaring Kitty, testified in front of Congress. Did you guys see that shit?
No, I didn't see it. What was the tilde of that?
So nothing really happened of any value, no pun intended. But there was a one funny moment in it. Oh, guys, search Deep fucking Value, and all I get is I have the DuckDuckGo here and the safe search turned off, so I didn't get the right things I want to see. Let's try Roaring Kitty. Maybe it's a little safe. Here we go.
Don't look that up. We're gonna get demonetized.
Well, thankfully it blurs it. It's so we Gucci right now. But so he testified, and there were two funny things. Number one is that even though, because this is all remote, so even though it was remote, like he was doing it from home, and he had in the background a picture of a kitten hanging on to something, and it said "hang in there." Yeah, it just says "hang in there."
Poster.
What was that?
You know that motivational poster?
Yeah, that's what it was. And yeah, there it is. And the other thing that he said that was funny was like, he's like, there are many things that are true about me. He's like, I am a dad. I am a this and that. Like he names all these things, and he goes, and I am not a kitty. And it's just like a very memeable hearing. It was funny for just like those little moments. But yeah,
What
like
did they, bringing this guy in? Like, let's be real.
I know. It was funny. He's like, I'm not a cat. I think that's what the quote was. It was really funny. Yeah, he slipped a reference. Oh, base. That's funny. Yeah, I am not a cat. This is the Reuters headline. Key quotes from GameStop testimonies. Quote, I am not a cat. That's epic. Yeah, I'm just trying to find the full thing. But it was, there really wasn't much action, but there were moments like that. Yeah, he's like, a few things I am not. I am not a cat. I am not an institutional investor. Nor am I a hedge fund. Oh, that's great. So there was that. And the other internet thing that I want to mention too that happened was there was another Zoom bombing at Penn State. And we have the video of it, or part of it. We found it. But there was a Zoom bombing at Penn State during I think it was like a diversity event, and it was a Zoom event, and there was a guy that Zoom bombed it, and they're calling it a racially motivated Zoom bomb, and the Penn State police are investigating it, and it was because a dude on Zoom bombed the meeting, the diversity meeting, and he was dressed up in a police officer and reenacted the killing of George Floyd in a comedic way, we'll say. A way that was clearly not meant to be hyper serious.
I'm just fucking Zoom bombing it. If you're Zoom bombing someone, you're generally not being serious. Like, let's be real here.
Yeah.
You don't have like a super serial Zoom bombing, like breaking news, like we'll have like Alex Jones who Zoom. Oh, that would be funny as shit if he did, but he'd get sued if he tried. Everyone knows what he looks like.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that people don't know about this Zoom bombing is the guy that did it is actually I don't want to say a famous internet troll because he's not famous by any means, but he's got a somewhat sizable following, like a small following. It is the internet troll, or whatever you want to call him, called Catboy Cammy. And if you look at the video, you look at his face and you look at his chair, you can tell it's him. But he's known for doing.
Allegedly.
What was that?
I would say allegedly.
Allegedly. Yes.
For your ass.
Yes, allegedly. I said everything in this video is alleged, but yes, it's allegedly Catboy Cammy. I will make that clear. I'm not 100% certain, but I allegedly believe it's Catboy Cammy. And they're supposedly investigating this, but he's like in Australia, so I don't know how this is going to work. But he was the Catboy that was hanging around with Nick Fuentes, and I don't like the guy's content at all, Catboy. Like, some of it kind of is very weird, some of it's disturbing, some of it honestly feels like it's not joking and rubs me the wrong way. But yeah. What do you think of it?
Maybe at a Catboy trolley Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Stay the alt-right today. We have gay Catboys trolling Zoom meetings.
Oh god. Yeah, here he is. It's allegedly it's him.
Like he had a falling out or something with Nick Fuentes or something.
I don't know about that.
I heard some rumors about that. I don't know if that's true.
I know it's possible. I don't know. Catboy's. I don't get why Nick hung out with him. He's not. Catboy's not somebody I'd want to hang out with.
Such a fucking gay name.
I know, Catboy. Oh yeah, Catboy.
So like, what did he do before that? Did he like dress as like a gay cat or something? Like, why is he called Catboy Cammy?
He wears the cat ears. Have you seen that shit before?
Can't say that I have. Like, I mean, I've seen, people wear cat ears. I've not seen this individual.
So it's a thing that's, I don't want to say it's like a fursona, but it's kind of, I need to look into it a bit more, but I know people, one person I should say, that's done this, but it's a thing where you wear cat ears and you kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say you act like a cat, maybe you do, but it's like, it's kind of a meme, kind of a joke, it's kind of not a joke. I don't get it. I get a lot of weird things. I don't get this one.
But he is a homosexual, correct?
Yes, absolutely. He has like giant dildos. He has anime posters, but supposedly it's like tongue in cheek. I don't know.
Supposedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Allegedly. But this is what the Urban Dictionary definition is. It says a man who dresses in things like a false cat tail, cat ears, cat paws. Cat boys can often be found close on the male spectrum. Maid dress boys and men in skirts. The look of a cat boy may include cat ears, cat tails, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so
it's just cross-dressing. Like a furry cross-dressing.
kind of, yeah.
Furry cross-dressing. Okay. I mean, at least we know what we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
You know, it is. And why does the alt-right accept these people?
I don't know if they actually do. Like, every time I mention the alt-right to certain people, they're like, the alt-right isn't even a thing anymore. LMAO. Which is kind of true, kind of not. I don't know. They change the same people with different labels at the end of the day. Like, I don't know what Richard Spencer calls himself anymore, but it's probably a different label. He probably calls himself a dissident. I'm on the dissident right. That's such a loaded term.
Yeah, I've heard that term before. Like, but you could say the dissident right. You know, that's like everyone from like. But so was the alt right before basically the Unite the Right thing.
I know, that's why I say I don't like that term ever used because it's so loaded. It can be used in so many stupid ways. Oh god, this is one of the definitions of Catboy. It says, also known as Groiper Molester or Nick Fuentes owner, a ravisher of booty, a connoisseur of bussy.
These are the people that trolled Penn State.
Allegedly. Oh god, yeah, it's just some fucking wacky shit. But we'll keep up.
I was saying I saw that like one Sargon thing. He like kept talking about like I think it was with the Mormon guy, the Shadiversity dude. And he kept talking about like he kept bitching about Nick Fuentes for hanging out with the cat boy.
Who the Mormon dude was, or Sargon?
No, Sargon kept bringing up Nick Fuentes and the cat boy.
What was he saying about them? Curious, because I haven't seen this.
Like the whole live stream was about masculinity. He was like, blah blah. Well, this that's why I can't take people like Nick Fuentes seriously about masculinity. Blah blah blah. He keeps saying like he just kept bringing up the cat boy shit, and I'm like, okay. Yeah,
I mean, that's a fair point because with a lot of these trad people, because I bet I agree with Nick on a lot of things at the end of the day, but some things I definitely don't. But one thing I definitely disagree with these groypers on is the whole trad shit. Because they act like, oh, we need more manly men. We need to bring back traditional gender roles. And here they are hanging out with cat boys. Here they are not getting laid. Here they are not really doing anything to increase their sexual market value, at the end of the day. And, there's some things they do that might, but overall, I just don't see the effort being put into date to do things like that. It's just, and then some of them I know, from what I've heard, just extremely socially, like, beyond awkward, like, socially autistic, and, I have to agree with Sargon on that big time. The Catboy thing's just a more blatant example of it.
Yeah, I wonder why he hung out with him to begin with.
That's what I'm saying. I've never understood it. I really don't understand it. It's like with Patrick Casey. I didn't understand why he hung around that guy. It makes sense when I've heard some of the things during the falling out that he was just trying to be nice to him, but I don't know. It's not things that I would do.
I think what he saw over there was he had a lot of, I guess Patrick Casey allowed to pull with certain, groups of people.
He had pulled with the wrong groups of people, though. That's the thing. Patrick Casey was IE and all these other Wignat things.
Oh yeah, well, it seems like that's a lot of what Nick Fuentes was sort of getting at, though, at least at the beginning.
Maybe, I don't know.
That helped him kind of, like, when people say Nick Fuentes, I usually think of that, that sort of group of people.
That's the thing that's weird is like, I've kind of changed my opinion on him to a degree. Like, I used to be a little bit worried, like, ooh, he might be a little too close. Because when I saw him hanging out with people like Patrick Casey, I was like, could Nick be a Wignat too? I don't know. Maybe? I don't know. I just kind of kept a little bit of a distance. But, after things I've heard from other people, and when I see Alex Jones, like, helping him out, and Milo and Gavin and other people, I kind of think, well, I don't know what's fully going on here, but I kind of lean away from the theory that he's a Wignat, but don't know for certain. Really don't know for certain until, like, I've actually met him or talked to him.
Yeah, now didn't, like, he say that Milo was a Fed or something too?
I don't know. I know they talk a little bit, because he's the one that told him about the Patrick thing, being involved with the Charlottesville lawsuit. I know Nick isn't a fan of Milo like we are, because I've seen him mock him before, even after doing an interview with him. And I see them as fellow travelers, but not necessarily supporters of each other full on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Fellow travelers. Wasn't that a term for, like, someone who helps communists inadvertently?
Oh, really?
I think it was, like, that was a term or something back in the day.
That term gets thrown around quite a bit now. It's a good term.
Yeah, fellow travelers. They both go along the same route.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
So
There's a lot of communist fucking terms around that we use. So the fucking assault weapon, that was a communist propaganda.
really?
Well, it was
Like, actually, or like a Democrat thing?
Well, no, the Democrats invented that.
That's true.
Democrat thing, and they're pretty much, they're fellow travelers. We'll talk about that.
There you go. Yeah, they are.
Capitalism, that's a communist term.
That is true. Yes.
But we use it. Why? Like, we use their music too. Like, what was it? The Fortunate Son. That's like an anti-war song. Like, what was the other one?
Well, that's not communist. That's just anti-Vietnam.
Well, yeah, but we use. Well, I mean, just in general, like, we use a lot of the left shit too. But, like, the straight up communist one was that, like, "This land is your land." That's a fucking communist song. Mm-hmm. Especially if you listen to, like, the extended lyrics. Like, just look at the name. Like, "This land is your land." This land is.
Bob Dylan was a communist, even though he grew up in, like, some fucking rich ass fucking neighborhood in Minnesota or some shit.
I just never liked his music. His voice sucks, and yeah, he's basically like a fucking commie from what I've heard.
It's like a fucking college communist, It's like a fucking rich white, or rich. I guess he's Jewish, which make a joke, but.
This Land is Your Land is one of the United States' most famous folk songs. Its lyrics were written by American folk singer Woody Guthrie in 1940 based on an existing melody, a Carter Family tune, When the World's on Fire, in critical response to Irving Berlin's God Bless America. Wow. There you go.
And both of those songs are, regarded decently.
All the left, say true, but they make the arts, and they can make really good art. Some of it not so much, but
well, because they cancel everyone who isn't on the left, like, especially now.
Well, we were talking last week about Marilyn Manson. Did you see that he is now actually under, I think, federal investigations now for the allegations?
I mean, he deserves to be investigated, to be fair.
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah, I know.
They'll find something on him.
What was that?
I'm sure they'll find something on him.
Oh yeah, I bet. Like that's one of those that I think is, hate to say it, but I think the allegations are true, or at least most of them. The LA Sheriff's Department's investigating Manson. That's what it is. Yep. Yeah. So that's escalating. But one of the things I want to mention that we might be the spearhead on this, the ahead of the curb on. Have you guys heard of X22?
X22. What the fuck is that? Like someone's gamer tag?
Close-ish. I wish it was. So I'm on the site right now. My girlfriend actually found this app called X22 Report, and she sent it to me, and she goes, "Oh, look at this QAnon app I found." And she's like, "Never mind, I don't really think it's Q." And she started like listening to it, I think today or yesterday for a little bit, and she was like, "No, it's actually Q." And I started to think the same thing because I saw on Facebook one of my how can I put this? Q sympathetic volunteers. They have shared some Q stuff before. They started sharing. I saw a post. It was like some, when people like take images and they squish them. It was like a TV screen with a squished tweet that said like that Joe Biden was gonna pardon a pedophile or somebody involved with a pedophile ring, and then below it said X22 report. And I was like, oh my god, I think this is gonna be the next Q. I know it's gonna sound crazy, but I think Q is gonna become X now.
Just go down the alphabet. So the Z report.
Yeah. Well, Radio Freedom knows about this. Radio Freedom says X22 always talks about Q stuff. See, we have confirmation. I'll post this in chat.
Because you talk about Q stuff doesn't necessarily mean that you are Q.
Yeah,
CNN talks about Q stuff as well.
But these people, this X22 thing, they have an app. They have a website. They even have a Roku, Fire TV, and Amazon TV or Apple TV app. See, this is bigger than Q. It's transcendent. It's taking Q to the next level.
You could say like Alex Jones talks a lot about similar things as Q. You can make that argument. Not saying he's the same thing as Q, but he talks about similar subject matter like pedophiles and.
Yeah, but does he have Bitcoin Ben on?
Bitcoin Ben, is that our? Who's Bitcoin Ben?
That's like one of the X22 correspondents. Oh no, it's their guest. Bitcoin Ben. Oh god.
Fucking names of these people. Oh hey man, it's Bitcoin Ben. We're out here talking about radio, Uranus. We're gonna figure this shit out.
I'm gonna shove Uranus up Uranus. Patriot News. What's on here?
Oh god, is it gonna have the Patriot alarm?
Woo. News alert.
I've responded.
I don't need a woman. I got my pocket pussy right here. God damn it.
I love when boomers get on the internet. Glorious. It's like watching a fucking like nuclear bomb go off in the distance. It's destructive. It's bad for the fucking world, but it's fun. It's cool to watch,
Well, I'm tempted to start making a compilation of like boomers trying to use Zoom, because there was another incident today where a bunch of teachers from a teachers union were on a Zoom call and they were shitting on parents like, oh, they don't know what goes on behind the scenes. If only these parents knew. One made a joke about like one of them with marijuana or something, and then one lady was like,
if teachers smoked weed, but you shouldn't be joking about that in a fucking school.
Yeah, but the thing was, they thought they were in a private Zoom call, and then the one lady goes, oh no, this is public. Oh no, it's open.
That person's getting fired.
See, they don't know how to use Zoom still. A year later, still don't know how to use it.
Man, these fucking teachers, man.
Well, then they started apologizing on it. They're like, anybody listening, we're so sorry. that laugh. Yeah, it was just really funny. Like I posted the video in general.
They're demons.
Yeah, they were just all
Teach-
like, they're just all so sad. They're like, we thought the private conversation. We didn't mean it this way.
No, they're just saying that because they got caught. Like we all know.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's not that we're sorry we did this. We're sorry we got caught.
Mhm.
You know, red-handed.
Yeah.
With the fucking the cookie jar talking shit about little Timmy. You know, finger fucking Sally in the schoolyard. You know?
Oh god, I'm on the X22 report, and under resources, I'm reading from the bottom up. Paris Climate Accord explained, border wall, Twitter news, latest from QAnon.
Yes, yeah, it might be a QAnon app.
Oh, they have
Got
an
through
they have an embedded thing of that .pub website.
The Q leak, the Q drops.
Yep. Cringe. That's,
Take your Q drops every day, kids.
it keeps the pedophiles away.
Yes.
Radio Freedom says X22 always talks about Q stuff. He makes excuses when Q gets stuff wrong. Oh god.
That's everyone who's like a QAnon follower. It's like you have to go and make excuses. It's like those cults. You know, it's like, oh, you know, the world's going to end tomorrow. And then, like, it doesn't end. Like, oh, well, see, we're actually following the Georgian calendar, you know, not the
Mayan calendar.
So you have to go and wait next year. Like, I remember that shit in, like, 2012, man. Like, it's a time to be alive.
I remember that. I remember one of my friends in high school literally thought the world was going to end and was scared and was going to, like, hold on to a tree the whole day.
What the fuck's a tree gonna do if you're gonna go and like die?
That's what I told her.
It's gonna fall on you. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it was a weird time. But one of the last things what was that?
I was about to say, I think they're off by like 8 years.
Yeah, if they'd seen COVID coming and they predicted that, I would have been like, okay, you people might be onto something. But it's just like confirmation bias where they always justify things in their head and they try to explain everything. It's like, no, you're just believing bullshit. You're wrong. But the last thing I want to talk about, and then, you know, if you guys have anything else, we can definitely shoot the shot on those things, but was the big passing that we had this week, which was Rush Limbaugh, who we all know he's had cancer and we were expecting him to pass at some point soon, but I think he made it a little bit longer than he expected because I remember the last thing I saw of him was that New Year's special he did where he was breaking down because he was so grateful he made it through the year. And, you know, I'm not going to act like I knew the guy or anything. I mean, I didn't even listen to him that much. I did a little bit. I'd seen some interviews with him. I was impressed with him. Very good speaker. Very, very talented. And, yeah, it's a shame he died. I mean, he was definitely a conservative icon, pioneer. That kind of started the thing we're doing. I mean, I remember when I was starting the radio, I would listen to a little bit of him to get some inspiration and see how the pros do it. But, you know, he knew what he was doing. He was effective. Very effective. Did you guys ever listen to him?
I think maybe once.
Yeah, maybe once or twice. I mean, it wasn't like, because I think he kind of went. He was in the San Diego market, right? Like somewhere around there, like the Southern California.
He lived in Florida.
Or Florida, yeah, one of those two. Yeah, yeah, he did a lot of it. Like he had he had his own studio with the whole golden mic thing, and which was kind of cool. Like, yeah, I mean, he kind of spearheaded a lot of what needed to be done from a radio perspective. Like, you're not gonna like just do your shit, just do your thing, and that's what he did. Like, he did his own thing, and like, of course, he rewrote his books and stuff like that too. But yeah, just like he spearheaded a lot
Mm-hmm.
on from a conservative perspective, and like I think I always keep thinking, like when I look at all the stuff he did, because a lot of like one of the things I did earlier the week, I was like I was looking at a lot of the stuff that he's accomplished, and he's written books, he's done like a lot,
A lot of
he's
charity
done
work.
a lot of charity work, like like how much more lame would the conservative movement be without Rush Limbaugh? Like that's I know that's kind of sounds silly, but like it
No, you're right.
no, it's like look, he kind of pulled he kind of put it all together, you know? He always found a way to put things together, and like uh, I mean, you could tell, like you whenever you see um whenever you see tech people go into Congress or whatever, you could tell like some of these GOP people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like when they're trying to ask tech questions and shit, it's like it's just terrible. It's awful. Like this is somebody that like Rush had always figured it out.
Mm.
You know, I think he was good. Like he inspired the sort of Trump movement. I think. Like I
But
think
yeah,
him and Trump were good friends. I think, or like he talked,
yeah.
he gave him the fucking Medal of Freedom or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an amazing moment. I remember. I will
Mm-hmm.
never forget seeing that live because,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I wasn't like a big listener of Rush, and seeing that moment was just powerful. Seeing him because that was after his cancer diagnosis, and then he was, I think, semi surprised. Like he wasn't directly told what was gonna happen, but he kind of had an idea. But you could tell he just like couldn't believe what was happening, and it was amazing. Like just an amazing moment. And I mean, like you said, like he spearheaded a lot of the shit that we see now. And what I notice about him too is he never ever declined. He wasn't somebody that had like a moment or a few years and then died off and tried to come back but really couldn't or didn't at the same caliber. He's one of the few that was able to always be at his peak and appeal to a lot of people, which is really hard because you listen to him and he's somebody that young people can listen to, old people can listen to, middle-aged people. Like he definitely was more of the previous generation, like before us, more that Gen X boomer kind of audience. Like they grew up with him more, or not grew up, but like started listening to him in his adulthood.
Without him, we wouldn't be here though. Like he was the
Yes,
fucking Model T to our like fucking Mustang. You know.
exactly. He was the OG legend, and mad respect for that. I mean, he did amazing work. And like I said though, he still was funny. And like I said, a lot of shit could appeal to us because I saw clips of back in the 80s and 90s when he was making his big, start, was him shitting on feminism long before anybody that we know now that shits on it. And it was beautiful, amazing, perfect. He could cut through the bullshit and just simplify things so nicely. And I think even when till his last show, he was like the biggest, most listened to person on the radio, which is impressive.
Yeah. No, he's sad to see him go, but he had a good run. He had a good run, and what really disturbed me though is like all the fucking hate I have seen from leftists. Like, I mean, I'm not surprised, but it's just really disturbing. Like, how much hate for one man can you fucking have?
Yeah. And these are people that probably never listened to him a day in their life.
Oh yeah, and they're like, oh well, he said something racist once, or like back in the day. Like, when you're a shock jock for any period of time, you're gonna have fuck ups. It's
Or things
It-
taken out of context, things taken the
things
wrong way.
Yeah, but try doing that shit for as long as he did. You probably won't be able to do it without like causing some sort of commotion, like pissing somebody off. I think he did a great job for what he did. He wasn't perfect, but I think he was damn fine, and he was the predecessor to a lot of this, this movement.
Yep.
I think he inspired Trump to a certain degree. I think he inspired a lot of people to a certain degree. This sort of like right wing populism. Where it's not all these country club Republicans. I think he sort of inspired that, and this sort of like conservative talk radio.
Yeah.
Because before him, I don't think conservative talk radio was even really around. Like maybe it existed, but
It was, if it existed, it was not as big as what he turned it into. Like, everybody followed him and realized, oh, this is how we can do things now. I mean, there's people like Handy, Ingram, and Levin that have radio shows because of him, basically.
yeah.
Like, those words like legend, icon, pioneer get thrown around so much when people die, but, like, it actually is true with him.
No, I agree.
And like you said, the reaction from leftists, I mean, I knew it was coming because we'd already seen with the cancer evaluations, but just the sheer level of it tells you, this is what I've been telling people, this is something I think Sobiek, Cernovich, and a few others have been saying that's so true, is how the left feels about Rush dying, is how they would feel about you dying, how they'd feel about us dying. That's what's pretty scary to me. That's how do we unify with those people? How do we come together with people that want you dead?
I don't want to do that.
We don't. I mean, that's the reality. Like you're not like these people talk about unity and all that stuff. You can't unify with people that fundamentally want you gone. Like there's no meeting in the middle, there's no coming to the table, there's no anything like that. Like we are at a point where we're just fundamentally different from them, and there's no going back, because it's like it's all like it's indoctrinating in our schools, it's indoctrinating in in the media and social media and all that stuff. All it is just basically Chinese aided social re-engineering. Like this is, you're not there's no going back. Like there's I mean that's about as much the best way I can put it. But I mean,
yeah, I mean, honestly, I think we're gonna be in a situation like like Bosnia in the fucking like 90s after the breakup, where we're gonna be in a situation where something like that could end up happening here, and I'm honestly a certain degree afraid, but it's inevitable because like that, like with those people, they couldn't stand each other. They were so fucking different on all these people, and the only reason they were around so long, like without going to war with each other beforehand, was because they had a really strong, like fucked up but strong central government. Once that was gone, that's the only thing that's really holding us together is basically the state. And as soon as there's some sort of fucking like leeway over there, as soon as something bad happens, you'll see something really bad happen here.
What ended up happening there? I don't fully know what happened.
Like the breakup of Yugoslavia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was a big conflict. Well, I mean, not big. But it was like some people call it civil war. It was not fun.
Yeah, I don't. The only thing I can see happening in this country is, which I said before, is just sort of people sticking amongst themselves more and moving. Like Florida gets more base, Texas probably is gonna get maybe more blue. I don't know, or be in the middle. But I think people are gonna flock more to their own kind, politically speaking, or fundamentally speaking, and I don't know if separation will actually happen. I don't think so, but I don't know at the same time because I don't know how two different countries can stay together this long. It's really weird. Unless there's some breaking point where people wake up, I don't know. I don't
They
know.
really can't. I mean, honest to God, they really just can't.
Yeah.
It'll just be a matter of time, basically. And I think that's what's going to happen. Like right now, it'll be okay for probably another few years. And after that, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless some people just leave, they go to some commie love land or some like Poland type place, on the other side. I don't know.
Oh, well, Poland's actually awesome now. Like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if the left were to leave, they'd go to like a commie land. If the right were to leave, they'd go to like a Poland.
They'd probably go like England or something like that. That's probably where the left will go.
No, they go to Canada. They love Canada.
Well, it's basically the same. Well, I mean, it's not the same thing, but
They have Trudeau. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but aren't they like? Don't they still consider they have some weird relationship with England still? It's like I don't know if the Queen's on their dollars or whatever.
I think the Queen is still on their money, and they still technically recognize her as like the monarch or something. Like it's really bizarre.
Yeah, those cucked countries.
Yeah, that they are. Oh, is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Interesting. The Zoom and not the Zoom section, the news. Any other interesting
the news.
Shit?
Let's see. We should make a Zoom section for all the Zoom bombings.
God. What do you think's gonna happen with that though? Like, do you think like if you're a kid? Cause I heard stories like at Penn State and or not Penn State, but like at like high schools and shit where like kids are getting Zoom bombed and like shown pornography. Do you think that parents would be able to sue the school for not locking that shit out?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe they could say you didn't protect my kid.
They're basically exposing them to like potentially hardcore pornography because you can't hire, or you chose not to hire someone who knows how to use technology, unlike a fucking boomer.
But if it's unintentional, I think they might not be punished for it.
Well, I heard that there was like schools beforehand, like there was a teacher, something happened, like there was pornography shown on the computer screen. They still end up getting like busted, like in trouble. And that was like before, like this was like I think back in the early 2000s. I think it went to someone.
They might be able to get in trouble then. Yeah, they very well might be able to. Because that was the scenario I was playing out in my head was like, what if that happened? How would things go down?
Yeah, it's fucked. And then like I hear a bunch of times too, like people keep accidentally or quote unquote accidentally exposing themselves on Zoom meetings.
That's the weirdest thing ever. How do you accidentally do that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you think you're off that Zoom meeting, you don't have your fucking like button clicked or whatever, or you're not paying attention to the screen, and then you start masturbating or having sex. Like I heard that like apparently some kid got caught like naked on there or something, or like having sex with his girlfriend, getting a blowjob or something. Like Jesus, dude, like that would suck.
That'd be awkward as shit.
Or like have your fucking thing on, then you have like your penis pops out. Like heaven forbid you had like a tiny cock too. Like that'd be really embarrassing. Like,
people screenshot it.
I know, and then like that creates a bunch of issues too. I think there's just so much fucking issues with Zoom and like allowing these things to happen. Fucking hate Zoom.
Me too.
You know what kind of tripped me out this week? I was looking at something that the Russian foreign ministry issued a statement basically check this out, that lambasted the U.S. government under Joe Biden for ongoing persecution campaign taking place against anybody at all who does not agree with the results of the latest presidential election. Like they're calling this like a human rights campaign, right?
It's
Yeah,
ironic
like
coming from Russia.
yeah, but I mean, look, I mean, there. I will say this: they are very the Russian, like when you hear like interviews with like Vladimir Putin and stuff like that, like they're very in tune with what's going on
Mm-hmm.
in the United States. Like they are not stupid. They are very much in tune. Like there's a lot. I mean, is there some, is there some bad shit that's concerning going on over there? Sure. I mean, there is in a lot of countries. But man, I like reading this stuff like um I mean, it's just incredible. Okay, let me read a little bit of this. The FBI has reportedly opened more than 400 criminal cases and applied for more than 500 search warrants and subpoenas for suspects. It has also brought charges against and detained around 200 people. Only several dozen defendants have been released on bail or placed under house arrest. The others are being subjected to harsh pressure with members of their family and social circle hold on being coerced into giving convenient testimony. Moreover, people who have not been officially charged are losing their jobs. They're being banned from social media and publicly ostracized. Not wrong.
Yeah.
Not wrong. Okay, let's see. She also questioned the objective objectivity of the law enforcement agencies. Yep, that's pretty accurate too. Involved in the campaign, knowing that there were actions under orders and in line with the narrative of the current administration, who declared that the events of January 16th, a riot, and anybody who was near the U.S. Capitol on that day, all but plunderers. Like again, like I'm not seeing where they're. I'm not seeing anything that's false. In fact, the majority of those, the the, the majority. Let's see. Here we go. I'm trying to get. Uh, like many of those were peaceful protesters. In fact, the majority of those people were ordinary citizens concerned about the situation in their own country. She said, these were 74 million voters who voted for the president and defended their views. It's like these protests will not go away. These protests will not just go away. You cannot just sweep discontent under the rug. Even with the rhetoric that the United States allows itself to use with respect to Russia will not help distract public attention from the country's own problems. They will have to be dealt with. U.S. citizens deserve to be treated according to the law and in line with Washington's international obligations. Again, not wrong.
The face when the Russians are more right than the Democrats.
Yeah, like this is it. Yeah, it's like she called on she also called she called on the United States to respect the basic human rights of Trump supporters. In this context, we have every reason to express concern and demand that basic human rights be observed. U.S. officials are constantly and hypocritically taking care of these rights when it comes to other countries, and yet they have no scruples in ignoring them at home. Again, not wrong. Dead on accurate. It's really sad. It is a really sad thing when the foreign ministry of Russia is more in tune to what's going on than our own media, our own, the current administration. Well, I mean, I'm sure they're in tune. They just don't give a shit. But like,
Yeah.
Oh, you know why Russia's doing this too? They want to go and fucking piss off Biden. I can't. I mean, they're not wrong with a lot of stuff they're saying, but they're probably doing that because like Biden's be like, oh well, you see those Russian protests are undemocratic and blah blah blah, and like, you need to let the people speak. He's like, well, you're doing worse over in your country, so shut the fuck up, boomer.
Radio Freedom makes a great point. He says, if they want to unify, like the left, if they want to unify with Nazis, doesn't that make them Nazi sympathizers?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. Yeah, if they see us as Nazis, then they'd be Nazi sympathizers. In their minds. Oh.
Delusional.
What was that?
The left is fucking delusional.
Oh, yeah. It's
Well,
just
yeah.
the continuing dehumanization. And the Russians should know this better because that's literally what USSR propaganda would do. That guy Yuri, you remember that video? I think a Russian friend of ours actually showed that to me first.
It was the same video that was in that Call of Duty game, wasn't it?
Yes. I don't know how they got away with it, but in the Call of Duty Cold War trailer, yeah, they used that freaking video, which was hilarious.
Probably public domain or something by now.
It might be. What I'm saying is how they got away with it was like optically. Like, I'm surprised people weren't like, Call of Duty features a fascist in their latest trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think that whatever guy was a fascist. He was a KGB agent.
Yeah.
He's exact, horseshoe opposite.
Well, you know how the left feels about anything Russian now. It's like they see Russian connections and everything, they'll flip out.
It's so funny, they're like, oh, communism's so great, but also fuck Russia. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
That's the Maoist influence in them because, after that Sino-Soviet split, they had some... Russia and China had some beef for a while. Probably still.
Oh, they still do. They still do. I mean, they're... You look at it, it's like, it's a very... they'll do business together or whatever, but it's obvious they're not like friends. It's very obvious they're not friends.
It's just they're fellow travelers.
Yeah.
Well, also, I guess I'm gonna mention this quickly, and I have to go walk my brother out to the mail, so you guys can talk about whatever you feel free to. But it just got announced that Trump will be speaking at CPAC next week.
Oh my.
Yeah, should be interesting. He's gonna lambast the cucks right in their own freaking turf.
I'm surprised they didn't tell him to get the fuck out.
I'm actually surprised they didn't ban him or something because Matt Schlapp is an establishment guy.
Matt Schlapp.
He was actually working and Matt Schlapp was actually working with Trump on his defense. He was in Nevada. He was in I mean, I know what you're I know what you're saying. But
he's opportunistic. That's what it is.
I mean,
look at Nikki Haley. She was on the UN.
Yeah.
Under Trump. It's people that just they know what they need to do to get higher and higher up.
Yeah.
I know what you mean though, because it's kind of conflicting. So it's like, that's what ends up.
Yeah, I mean they're all kind of opportunistic, though. I mean,
that's true.
One thing, I guess Mike Pence refused to go to CPAC.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's
the big news out of it. That's the headline there.
I think he refused the invitation.
That tells you he's done with politics to me.
Yeah.
And I think he is. I don't blame him in many ways, but
he got put in a position, and it was a lot of his doing.
Yeah.
He was put in a fucking situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find confirmation of that, but that's interesting. Let me go to CPAC's website, see who their speakers are.
Yeah, where did I see that at here?
I'm looking on their website. Let's see.
Hold on.
Oh, you know what they're... Oh, this is rich. Rich. So that, you know how CPAC always has these themes? Like, last year was, it wasn't socialism sucks, it was something like that. Some anti-socialism message. CPAC's theme this year is America Uncancelled.
Huh.
That is a rich, since these are the people that booted Milo. They took his speaking gig away from CPAC. They banned Laura Loomer from CPAC, but allow CNN and other people there. They kicked out Gavin when I was there, and they kicked out Alex Jones and Owen Schroyer and InfoWars.
By the way,
Rich.
CNN reported that.
So
The
take over
former
grain of salt then.
Yeah, exactly. Former vice president declined an interview or declined an invitation to speak at the conference.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah,
They're probably
yeah, take
right
that.
on that.
Yeah, it said 2 sources told CNN. So
I won't be surprised. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's some major bad blood between him and Trump still.
Yeah.
Being that way.
Dude, the Photoshop job they did on Trump is atrocious on this site. They like shaved half his hair off. Holy crap. They don't know how to Photoshop. But, so they have Trump, Schlapp, Kristi Noem, Pompeo, Carson, McFarland, DeSantis, Abibib, Pete Hegseth, Sarah Carr, Scott Walker, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Maj Toure, John Voight, Kudlow, Don Jr., Pam Bondi, Dan Schneider.
Wait, who is that? Maj Toure? Was that like the gun guy?
Yeah, the gun dude.
Oh, nice. He seems like a cool guy.
He is cool. I've actually met him. He's pretty cool. He called me Shaggy.
Everyone calls me Shaggy.
I know. Charlie Kirk, Tom Fitton, Wayne Dupree, Scott Presler, love that guy. Ted Cruz, Cotton. What'd you say?
So yeah, fucking Scott's like probably the best people there. Like,
Yeah.
Glad that he's finally starting to get some recognition though.
He deserves it. Josh Hawley, Rick Scott, Lauren Boebert. That's good. Do they have Majority Taylor Greene? Please. Madison Cawthorn. What?
They're gonna kick her out if she shows up.
She should then. Matt Gaetz, Mike Lee, Mike Kelly, Kevin McCarthy, Burgess Owens, Devin Nunes, Ralph Norman. I thought it was Ralph Northam.
I don't think would invite the Democrat over there.
Yeah, the Klansman Democrat or blackface, or we still don't know. Jason Chaffetz, Dan Bongino, Buck Sexton, James O'Keefe, Lawrence Jones, Ian Smith.
Yeah, Jason Chaffetz said I don't think he ruled out running for Utah.
He should get rid of Romney.
Romney, yeah.
Ian Smith.
He would definitely give him a run for his money. Anyway, what were you saying?
I was saying Ian Smith. That's not the same one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think that guy died a few years ago.
Yeah. Not the same Ian Smith.
Oh man, I'm getting down to the lower tier on the list here. Some cool people like Julio Rosas. He's really cool. Dana left. Yeah, no Mikey Pence and no Majority Taylor Greene. Interesting. And who else isn't on here? Nikki Haley.
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, we're gonna start seeing I think they were hoping. I think these people were hoping that people were gonna back off of Trump.
He's not. Yeah.
But of course, obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Obviously that didn't happen. So now it's like, well, what do we do now? Because if we try to push Mike Pence or we try to push Nikki Haley, obviously they're going to reject it. And so what do we do now? How do we There's no way. There's no way. And I can't believe these people thought, these GOP fuckers thought that they were gonna push this shit on the GOP crowd, thinking that they were gonna just kind of go along with it. Like, did they not see the runoffs? Like,
Yeah.
like, if you don't fight for Trump, like, Trump is the fucking leader of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
If you don't fight for this man, like,
You're dead.
you're done. You're dead in their eyes.
Yeah, and I do see on CNN's homepage the thing you were talking about, and I bet it's true actually. CNN might have gotten it once right for once, but you know that what you're mentioning too is a good point, because it's what we're all gonna need to wake up as the bigger picture as we go forward is that people are gonna try and co-opt the movement. Specifically, the establishment's gonna try and co-opt the movement. They're gonna sell you what you want to hear, but actually just be snake, just actually be wolf in sheep's clothing. And that's what we need to look out for. That's going to be the big thing coming up now.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure how far they're going to be able to go with it, just because they got burned. Like, look, the MAGA crowd got burned. Like, they got burned, and now they've been these people take notes. These people are taking notes. They're like, oh, who's the dirty one? All right, we're gonna get you the fuck out like now. So
yeah, remember that shit.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Was
never forget.
Yeah, we do not forgive. We do not forget.
Yes. Yes. Should make a shirt for that. Only other thing I wanted to actually mention. Oh yeah, because speaking of Nikki Haley, she tried to get a meeting with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, and he turned her the fuck down.
Yeah, well, how'd you think that was gonna go?
I know. Like, that's insulting to even ask. Like, hey, you know, I kind of just trashed you, but can we talk? You know, we're cool, right? Right? No, get out. Get out. You ain't coming in.
Yeah, I wonder what she expected. Like, if somehow he didn't like just immediately turn her down. Like, what was she, honest to God, expecting from that meeting?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I think she was gonna try and make peace with him somehow, but nope, that ain't happening, girl.
Yeah, the time for peace has ended long ago.
Yeah, unity's dead. Peace is dead. It's only war. War within the GOP and the establishment. But the last thing I want to mention before I run out to get the mail with my brother, is did you guys see the PewDiePie is now actually YouTube's kind of cranked things up with him a bit, where they deleted or removed his video where he was making a diss track against a kid's channel, I think it was, but it was all a joke.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah. I guess I'm not gonna say if, but when do you think Pewds will get banned from YouTube?
That's a good question.
If he ever says anything bad about China, he'll probably get booted.
If he says anything bad about YouTube, I guess, or like, I think they're just looking there. He's getting the Corano treatment or whatever, you know.
Corano treatment.
Like, they're just looking for something to get rid of him.
I wonder when it will be, because I mean, the thing to keep in mind with him is, like, when he was at his height as the biggest YouTuber, you know, there was no reason for them to get rid of him. But now with all these major corporations, like, we all remember the whole PewDiePie versus what was that stupid channel called? They made those music videos.
Yeah, this is Indian, like, music video channel.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm forgetting it. But, you know, you see big corporations globally like that going way ahead of him, and there are many of them. He starts to become less important to YouTube's, you know, ad revenue. Because he's just one channel where they're T-Series, that's what it is. You know, he's just making another few. Because, like, I think this kid's channel surpassed him or something, or is going to. Yeah, they surpassed 100 million subs, so he made like another sort of like diss track like he did T-Series, and it's a joke. Everybody knows it's a joke, But YouTube's like, oh, it's violates child safety rules. Oh.
Does a child own that channel?
No.
Yeah.
It
That's
violate guidelines around cyberbullying and child safety.
yeah, it's just YouTube being YouTube. Like, they have beef with him.
Yeah.
Like, I think they were upset because he did that one joke, and it like, I think that's what pissed YouTube off, because they probably had some money lined up with that, and they had to go and cancel him. Like, maybe he did that on purpose so that he would like get out of some sort of bullshit contract.
Well, they were gonna do a YouTube show for. At the time, it was called YouTube Red with him. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was like something scares PewDiePie or something. I forget what it was, but that's all I've seen. But do you guys have anything else you want to mention? You want to end the stream, shoot the shit while I go play with the mail with somebody?
I don't care.
Doesn't matter to me.
All right. Well, I'll let you two have a little alone time together.
That sounds gay as shit.
No, I would never ever intend it to be
You
that
better
way
get
at
that
all.
San Francisco shit out of here.
Oh god, see that saying it that way, San Francisco shit has multiple meanings to it.
Look at their fucking sidewalks.
Exactly.
Everyone
But I'll let you guys have at it. I'll come back if you're bored. We'll end the stream. If not, we'll just we'll have 3 together then.
All right. Good.
Let's
BRB.
Yes. What's going
All
on,
right.
Phil? What the fuck?
I just been a hell of a week, I guess. I don't know. With work and the weather and the
Dude,
fucking
fuck this weather, man. I swear to God,
exactly. Fuck
this,
this weather.
this has been a hell week. It's like every other day it's like snowing a shit ton. I got these like lazy ass neighbors who don't like, I have this private street and I got these lazy ass neighbors and I'm the only one who fucking plows it. So it's been me like getting up like right at, because I work midnights, so I'm getting up like as soon as I get off work. I want to go to sleep, but nope. If I don't go and do that shit, they're gonna go and have their like fucking party van come over there and drive up through there and pack down that snow and the ice. So I need to go and get my ass up to go and deal with something that they're adults. They're all adults. They're lazy adults though, so I have to go and do all that shit myself.
Yeah, it's supposed to be later in supposed to reach in the fifth around here. It's supposed to reach in the 50s later in the week. Like, what the fuck, man?
Man, where was that last week? Like, what is going on? Like, I don't think it's climate change. I just think
No,
it goes in cycles, man. Because
see,
like,
nobody knows. That's the problem. Nobody knows. Like it people are like saying, "Oh, it's climate change. It's because all the pollution and da 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 da." And I'm like, and it's like, no, it could maybe it is. I don't think it is, but like it could be a lot. It could be it could be all kinds of shit. It could be fucking we could be like rotationally we could be drawing closer to the sun or something. There could be a difference in the tilt or something. There could be government satellites or some shit that fucking that 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 are changing the climate and shit like that. They have a fucking some NASA shit going on or whatever. I know
that's what I hate about this climate change. It's like everything they go, it's like a fucking fortune teller. Oh,
yeah
you're a Taurus, so that's why this shit happens. Like, oh well, see this bad thing happened. You see that car hit you. Well, it's because of climate, because the brakes didn't work, because it was hotter out, or some bullshit like that. I
yeah
swear to God, these people are fucking fortune tellers.
yeah they're like a bunch of pissed off weathermen.
Yeah, God, these fucking weathermen, though, they should be fucking fired. It's like they were saying, "Oh, it ain't gonna be snowing today," and then it fucking snows.
It's like, yeah, well, so it could rain, but it could be sunny, or it could be snowy, or it could be, yeah, just, I don't know. Just, like, I mean, to be fair, Pennsylvania is a motherfucker, though. I mean, it's just like all over the place.
Yeah, that's sort of like one of these days. I just want to fucking go somewhere where it doesn't snow. I'm just so like I mean, this year it's put the nail in the coffin. I'm done with this snow bullshit. Like I become like the grumpy old man I always like hate as a kid. You know, it's like, oh, fucking snow. I hate this snow, kids, man. I mean, I don't hate kids, but like they can be fucking annoying at times. You know, it's like. I just like woke up. I'm like, I'm that fucking grumpy old dude on like what was it, the fucking puppet guy? You know, what was his show? What's that puppet guy's show? Fucking Jeff Dunham, like that fucking old man
Mhm.
up there. I feel like that guy. You know, because I've started to evolve into that, and I'm like,
Mhm.
just because of how much like it's like the snow pisses me off, and like and it's like I deal with the school. Oh, there's school buses going over here, and like I don't know. Like I used to love summers, but now it's like, honest to God, I prefer spring. As a kid, I always used to love summers because we'd have no school. That was like the only reason I even fucking loved it.
Mhm.
And
Well,
like,
I mean, that's part of growing up too. I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff that I do now that I just there's a lot of stuff that I hate now that I used to love as a fucking as a little kid. Like, you ever work in a restaurant? Like,
oof,
the
I mean,
working in a restaurant made me hate. Like when I was little, I used to love kids and I used to love old people. Like working in a restaurant fucked all of that up. Like I now I like if in a restaurant setting, I hate kids and I hate old people. Like kids because they mess up the whole fucking restaurant, and then old people because they don't fucking tip you at all.
yeah, yeah, that's the fucking truth. I don't know. I've worked at like an ice cream place, never like a legitimate restaurant. But I used to work as a lifeguard. Man, let me tell you, the fucking kids there, I hated that shit.
Hmm.
Like I loved it because I loved and I hate it. You know, it was the best of like there was Tale of Two Cities shit. You know, best of times, worst of times. Because the kids at least would be interesting, but it'd be interesting because you might go and save their ass because someone does something stupid. And it was like some kid shit in the grate, and it's like, oh, that's disgusting, that sucks. But on the other hand, hey, I get to not work for the rest of the day because some kid shit in the grate. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's that shit you learn.
Yeah. Hey, oh, um, you speak Chinese, right?
It's been a
Studied
while.
it a little bit, kind of haven't spoken it in a while, so it's kind of like rusty, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. You're better off than a lot of other people because when China comes and fucking
Oh,
takes this fucking shit over, man, I'll fucking
man.
dude, I'm scared. I'm nervous. I know that the like Biden is not gonna fight China on anything, like anything.
I know my social credit score is not going to be, whenever that happens, my social credit score is going to be like down the shitter.
Yeah, I mean all of ours. Well, yeah,
That's what's got me worried. Like honestly, that has me worried more than like any other like fucking political things. Is social credit score because I know that's the way we're going to be going. You know
yeah,
what's going to happen. It might
yeah.
not be today, might not be tomorrow, but like I've heard rumors, and we could be seeing that soon. See, like, you might get a fucking social, like fucking credit score. Might be able to go and see it by the agency. So if somebody, oh well, you see, you posted this offensive thing back in third grade, and like I feel really bad for the generations, like the ones growing up now, because like fuck, their entire lives are on the internet.
Yep.
They'd be really fucked. Like, thank God, like Xbox Live, like that shit wasn't saved, or else like half like my fucking generation, like a fucking Halo lobby would be like canceled for half the
Oh yeah.
hate that got spewed in that shit.
Yeah.
Like, man, and and that's the sad thing too. You can never have like that sort of like lackadaisical shit talking fun that you had back then. Like every game now, like, oh, you say something wrong, oh, you're permanently banned from this platform. And then people don't even go on the game chat anymore. It's all on like Discord and shit. But like back then, we didn't have other things. You were on the Xbox Live party, or pretty much that was pretty much it. Like maybe if you were on the computer, you'd play like World of Warcraft or something. But that was You know, that's a completely separate environment, like versus playing fucking Call of Duty or Halo, you know. God, but it was fun though. It's like there's so many things on the internet that like just have gotten destroyed, you know, because of fucking cancel culture, because of corporate bullshit that we just don't have anymore. You know, like that was just one of them. You know, was probably wasn't even the fucking biggest of them all either. But it was something that was, you know, fucking near and dear. Near and dear to me, at least.
Yeah.
There's bigger shit in the world. I mean, I was really sad when Yik Yak went away. I don't know, like when you were at Penn State, did they have that? Was that around? That shit was funny.
But Yik Yak, what's Yik Yak?
That was like a fucking local like chat app
Mm-hmm.
you could go and use, and like man, you could fuck with people on there like nothing else. Because it was anonymous. So it was like I don't know how to really describe it. But it was like a fucking party line for like it was like really popular on college campuses. So it'd be like Penn State's like a fucking party line pretty much, but it was like text space. You know, like at first it was anonymous, and then like eventually they made you have an account. That's when it started to go down the shitter. But man, it was pretty fucking fun. People be like, "Hey, look, there's a fat bitch out in the out in the fucking gym. You know, tell her to go and put her like fucking pants up because I can see that ass crack from a mile away." You know, people could go and talk like shit. There was like anonymous sex on there. Like I used to fucking troll. I had these like two loud girls in my not dorm, but it was the other thing. You know, like the apartment complex. I was like, hey, there's some anyone want a threesome? And I got some like fucking horny motherfucker to go over there in like the middle of the night, like knock on their fucking door asking for sex because they wouldn't shut the fuck up. Fucking catfish someone on there. It was bad, but like that dude was being fucking annoying, and those people over there would not like they blast fucking music all hours of the night, and like it was finals week, and I was just fed up with those bitches. You know, I was not dealing with that shit anymore.
The I wonder how you fight something like that. Like obviously what's going on right now, because it's like it's obvious. Like I was just seeing a tweet with Nigel Farage saying that there's like corporate there's Chinese billionaires with ties to the CCP that are buying these schools in England or whatever. I'm like, fuck, that shit has already happened here, man. What the fuck are you crying about on Twitter, man? It's already happened here. Like, holy God, all the college campuses are just flooded with fucking Chinese corrupt Chinese money. Like, what the fuck?
Well, see, they had something over in apparently they had like a town that was built by some of these like Chinese fucking development companies. Like they all pulled their money together and they built this like town in the middle of like America somewhere, and they were trying to go and like have it be like infiltrated by Chinese like people. And then they have those like groups of them that they'll be pregnant and then they'll visit America while they're pregnant and give birth over here. Literal like, you know, to go and say that their kid has a birth certificate here. You know, basically fucking manipulating the way that we have, because we have the most stupidest citizenship policy of any like first world country. You know, where if you're born over here, you're an American citizen. Like even if both your parents aren't American citizens, like that has got to be the most asinine thing I've ever heard of. And like, you know, the Chinese were doing it, the Russians were doing it because it's a fucking loophole.
Yeah.
You know, get your kid away from, you know, whatever totalitarian bullshit. You know, you can just do that, but more than likely it's being used by, you know, high up party officials in China and shit like that to go manipulate people. Like because you know, then all they have to go and do is they get that birth certificate. Let's say 20 years from now or something, you know, we have another Trump sort of Republican running. All they have to go and do is have the Chinese like Communist Party go and pay to go and send these fuckers over here. and then because they're a U.S. citizen, they can vote.
Mhm.
You know, they can literally manipulate the shit out of all the elections by doing that.
Mhm.
No one's talking about that. You know, no one's making, and they're not going to make any laws against it because it's going to serve, you know, certain interests very well to do things like that.
Well, I mean, look, I mean, let's be real. China pretty much owns the Democratic Party. Hell, they've probably owned a large chunk of the Republican Party too. So, like, yeah, there's nothing. I mean, nobody's mentioning the real fucking problems like that, and like, and China has a lot of them. They have a lot of those problems, and like, nobody's gonna nobody's talking about it. Nobody's going to talk about it. Nobody's going to talk about it in the education or not. Well, yeah, that too. But like the entertainment industry, because all of it's Chinese compromised. Nobody's going to talk about it in the education industry because they're compromised. Like we're,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's no way of battling it, and and it's terrifying because you see some of the horrible shit that's going on over there. It's like, well, look at what's happening with those people, and they probably like those people a hell of a lot more than they do us. Like,
Oh, I know. Hold on, man. I need to take a piss.
yeah,
Be right back.
yeah. So, let's see. Let's take a look at some of these fucking comments. All right. Law. No, that was not a comment here. Yeah, giving them something to work with. Let's read some tweets. Let's read some tweets as if you know. Oh, China betrays its deal with the Vatican. Oh, big fucking shocker. Uh, let's see. See, see. I also, I can't stand. Hey, what's up?
Oh, I'm back.
Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, I was just looking up. I was just looking at some tweets. You know, I can't. I can't. I can't stand these conservative personalities
Mm.
that are like fucking soft.
Who you
They're
talking
just like
Crowder?
the softest people ever. Well, I mean, at least Crowder's doing some shit. Like you see him, suing Facebook, and he's like, and he's doing other shit. Like at least, I mean, now grant you, it's probably gonna fail because again, the courts are fucking compromised too. So it's not like that's going to end up anywhere, but like at least he's doing something. You got a lot of these people, you got a lot of these conservative personalities that are just tweeting, but all they're doing is bitching and whining and complaining. Like, what the fuck are you, like,
As Scott Prezer says, stop tweeting, stop talking, start doing.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a smart guy, you know.
Yeah.
I do have to give credit where credit's due of Crowder. First of all, he did a good interview recently with Alex Jones. I like that he does stick up for Alex. Wish he'd stick up for more people, though, and have more people on his show that are banned and edgy.
Yeah, he's probably like the most milquetoast, like conservative comedian out there. But at least he's at least accessible. And that's the thing.
Yeah. Did I miss anything interesting?
Yeah, we were just talking about fucking how China owns all of probably all the shit here, and I don't know.
Do you see what
they're talking shit on they're talking shit on Kim Klasick.
Well, do you see what they're doing now?
Let's see. She dropped a tweet that said no, because Rona McDaniel had tweeted, and yes, I can't stand Rona McDaniel.
Romney
the party of
McDaniel.
Lincoln, the party of K. Cole James, Condoleezza Rice, Herman Cain, Dr. Ben Carson, Ida B. Wells, Thomas Sowell. The list goes on. black Republican candidates are running all around the country, and I'm proud to support them. Yeah, bullshit, bitch. Um, and then Kimberly Classic goes, "Hi, my name is Kim Classic. I'm black and Republican. I ran for Congress in Maryland's District 7. We ran an entire year and received zero support from the RNC. Many black candidates say the same. This is the lack of support is why we created redrenaissance.com.
All right,
And of course,
over here.
the usual establishment conservative personalities are jumping on Kim Classic, going, I don't even know if I'm mentioning her name right, but anyway.
Let's be real here. If you're running in Maryland, like, it doesn't matter like what color your skin is. It's the fucking party. If you're not Democrat,
I see. Here's the thing. I like her, and I agree with her principle because the RNC. I actually should be careful with what I say, but maybe that tells you something right there. I'll leave it at that. But one thing I can say is publicly known is that they, according to Laura Loomer, actively tried to sabotage her campaign, even though it had a good chance of winning if she was given enough money, support, and ground game. Could have flipped the district. I have to say with Kimberly, though, the RNC is not going to fund a Republican race in Baltimore. It's not going to happen. Not saying what she's saying is fundamentally false. I mean, that's why I bring up the Loomer example. Because the RNC, I could see where she's coming from with that angle. But for her race, the reason they didn't is because she is running in Baltimore as a Republican. Not going to happen. I don't care who you are. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
Well, Matt Brainerd was brutal. Like, he was brutal. He's like, just FYI, she ran a fraudulent campaign that was designed to enrich consultants and scam well-intentioned donors. She raised $8.3 million and did worse than a candidate 3 cycles earlier who had $0. Like, yee.
Oof. Is that true?
Yeah, that is sick burn.
Yeah, I don't know her. I don't want to say anything bad about her, but I will say you gotta be careful with some people because they'll use certain things to grift off of voters. They'll use that, oh, I'm a black conservative, I'm a woman of color, I'm a woman conservative.
And she did. And to be fair, Kim Clay, she did receive quite a bit of fucking support. Like, she
did. That's true.
She did. She spoke at the fucking GOP convention. She
she had a lot of attention, national attention. She had a
lot of attention. That's not honest. Like, and then she went and fucking, and then she went and said, like, McConnell's wife is Chinese or some shit.
That was
she
bad.
Tweeted that shit. That was bad. You're not, like, you're probably not going to be making friends with people when you drop shit like that.
To be fair, fuck Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, fuck Mitch McConnell.
That is a very accurate statement. However,
you shouldn't be saying bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I say cool shit all the time. What are you guys talking about?
How's it going, Sammy?
Could be better, Could be better, folks.
What's going on?
Oh, not much. Just all the crap this week with the great one Maharishi passing away.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we talked about that, and we also I don't know if you want to dive into this, but do you want to give your angle on the Yao 2 stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to rehash anything that you've already covered, but I mean, I'm gonna be making a video on my own, but I mean, I guess, do you guys have any questions for me? Because I'm no longer with them, so I am free to more or less kind of drop the bomb, I guess.
Well, let me put it this way.
I got a very in-depth and I got a very poignant question that I want to ask you about Yao, because you know you're very you're probably more in tune knowledge-wise about Yao, so I really wanted to get this in-depth question. Sam, why are y'all a bunch of fags? Okay. No, no, no.
Hot take.
Nah.
I mean, I have a few theories, but is that your actual question, or?
No, I'm like, well, why are they trying to molest the only two girls that are actually going to their fucking meetings? Like, what's the deal?
I mean, look, I will say this. Maggie is a very attractive, woman, and obviously, what happened to her, what allegedly happened to her, should not have happened. Um, but also, look, being serious here, this is what happens when you get people in power who think that because they're the leaders of an organization like Cliff, or anyone, they can do whatever they want. And I mean, we've seen this time and time again in, Hollywood and in the media, and, even in groups like, Yale now. And people are saying, oh, so Sam's validating the feminist argument? No, not at all, because there certainly are women who abuse their power like this too. But that's ultimately what this comes down to. And I'm not necessarily, obviously sexual assault is horrible.
Yeah.
But to me, this is more of a case of abuse of power more than it is sexual assault in and of itself, because Yale Yale also has done some unruly stuff, like they bullied like an autistic kid into like quitting his, basically like dropping out of college or something to
He had a panic attack too.
Yeah. Stuff like that. They were like, even when I was there. Okay, so my story with Yale is I started a chapter at my old college, State College of Florida, which is where I started, which is where I started school. And my friend Thomas and I started a chapter there. And we actually got like up to 8 members who were attending, and we held a couple events there, and it was pretty good for the first year. But then the second year, things just happened, and people had to kind of leave the group just because of class assignments, and whatnot. The stuff that happens on college campuses, pretty regularly. So we lost, some numbers, and not only was Yale not happy about that, but they were saying that they were upset that we didn't have more than 8 members, that we should have got like 12 members.
Shit, 12 members, that'd be like one of the most popular fucking Yale chapters in America. What the fuck?
Well, so this is the thing. Their whole thing is basically like, the way they're like, the more people you can get into your chapter, the more perks you get, like, as a chapter leader.
I remember that. They did a thing at our chapter where they said if we get X number of people, we'll get a Ron Paul cutout. I'm like, ooh, wow.
Yeah, and then
Is the
like
cut
Well, I didn't hear what you said. What was that?
is the cutout used or no sex time?
Okay, Borat.
no.
I like a sex. It is a nice.
What the fuck do they expect you to do with a fucking wrong cutout? Like, honestly, do these people like expect you to like worship it or fuck it? Like, why?
Yeah, they probably do fuck it though. They got a big old hole cut out. Oh my god, Ron Paul is so amazing.
He's only retired for like 50 years. Last 50 years in politics.
But no, I guess the Ron Paul cutout was one of them. But
Yep, see.
but like then you could get like a custom embroidered flag at like 20 members, and eventually like the ideal goal thing was to like have 100 members on campus chapter, which like for a
Bruh.
small campus like mine, like
For
it's you're lucky if you can get like 100 students out on like the quad at any given time.
You ain't gonna be able to get that much at any campus. Like fucking 100. You need to have like 1,000,000 people at like your fucking campus for that to be realistic.
Oh, hold on.
Well, and if I have it correctly, to be considered a Yao member, you had to pay their dues online, correct?
Oh yeah, you do have to pay for dues online.
See, with Turning Point, when we didn't have that shit, because, you know, we actually, say which will Turning Point, they actually knew how to get young people, like, into the door. There were no dues. And our active member number well, actually, let me put it this way. The most people we ever had come to a meeting, like a typical meeting, our first meeting was, I think, 60 or 70 people roughly. And the most people we had come, the second most was during our Yang Gang debate, where we got, I think about like 60, 70, I think may have been 80 people at it. But 100 dues paying members in any club is unheard of unless you're a sorority, a frat, or thon. And I don't even know if those have dues per se.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I don't even know if fraternities, as you said, have as many active members.
Some
they
of
have
the
a
really
lot.
big houses will.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I bet at like some of the big colleges, but like, if you're going to like a local, like a community college or something like I was going to at the time I was in Yale, you're not gonna get you're not gonna get 100, members.
Well,
and furthermore,
even too, it's like a frat's a thing. It's partying. Everybody likes that. Yao is politics. Most people don't like that. You ain't getting 100 active dues paying members anywhere.
well, and so the other big problem we had was, so Thomas and I were both like, okay, well, we're having trouble, having people join. Can you send someone to help us?
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Never sent someone.
Yeah.
We sent them text messages, we sent them emails. No one reached out.
Yeah, they're like typical libertarians. They talk a good talk and then they do nothing. Yao, at our school, we had a terrible president, and the board, I know, complained to the nationals about it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna fire him. Don't worry, we'll deal with it." Nothing happened. Every time it was like, "Oh, this is the last straw. Oh yeah, we're gonna clean it up. Don't worry, we got this." No, they're full of shit. Full of shit.
That really doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about the how you got tied into our video?
Oh yeah. So I mentioned to you, and I mentioned this on my own show a couple times, but there were a couple times where where Yale would ask people to volunteer for Operation Win at the Door. Now, for your listening audience, and most of your listeners I know are familiar with me, but for those who aren't, I'm in a wheelchair, and I'm wheelchair bound. And I told Yale this when I, first signed up with them, right? Um, so part of Operation Win at the Door is going out and doing campaigns. And I told them repeatedly that, look, I can't travel to other states because I'm in a wheelchair. I'm happy to phone bank. I'm happy to do social media stuff if you guys need someone to do that. Um, whatever. But they kept pushing me to do travel to other states. And I would always tell the person that was texting me, like, I would be really nice about it, but eventually I would be like, hey, I've told people before who have reached out that I can't do Operation Win at the Door things unless it's in Florida. I can't travel across country in in a wheelchair, or it's hard for me to, especially in like some of the rural areas where they won't want me to go. I'm like, there's no way. And a few of them were pretty good. Some of them were like real dicks about it though too. Well, you should have let us know about that in advance. And it's like, I did. So just stuff like that. They basically don't know how to communicate very well at all.
Well, the thing I was actually going to ask about, but I'm glad you brought that up too, was what you told me yesterday. Do you want to mention that too?
Oh yeah, so a few people from Yale apparently have gotten wind of the video that you made, and they've reached out to me because I'm still in some of their Facebook groups, and they think that I had a part in making that video. And I want to be clear that I've been working on my own videos for the Whitfield Report lately. I've been working on covering Gina Carano related stuff with the whole Star Wars. So I want to reiterate that this was an independent project of Sean's that he did, and but I guess they're wanting to know, they were asking me to take the video down, and it's like, no, I have no power over that. So I'm not the one you need to talk to. So, and they're like, it's damaging our image, and it's like, no,
you guys did that to yourselves.
You guys are doing that to yourselves. So.
Was that really their justification as to why it needed to be taken down?
Oh, what about the markets? Free markets, the fruit of the people. That's what they tell me.
Well, and they're also like, it's slanderous too. It's not true, and I asked them, oh, okay, so what's slanderous? What do we need to clarify?
Ask them, why was Cliff fired then?
I should have.
I'd like to actually talk to these people, honestly.
Yeah, get them on, have do an interview.
Yes. Let's get them on the show.
Yes.
Well, I'd love to talk to them too, but they don't want to talk to us.
Well, they wanted to talk to you to get the video taken down.
Well, they wanted to talk to me in private to get, but yeah, I mean, I'm with you guys. In my book, the best thing they could do is
own up to it.
The best thing they can do is appear on a podcast like what we have and actually clarify this thing.
I have a theory as to why they won't do that. I'll mention it off air because I don't know who this person is, but I have a theory, and it's very sus. Let me put it this way: somebody saying that to you is very, very sus. Like, going out of their way to do that is extremely, extremely sus. And for people that supposedly love the Bill of Rights, that know it front to back and read the all this shit, they should know what free speech is. They should know what free markets are. This is peak free speech. I say very clearly in the video, it's all allegations, it's all alleged, and I'm just reporting on publicly available information.
Right, and it's not like I'm like, minus the whole thing about them asking me to,
Right.
like, that's not inside information.
Right.
It's not.
It's something you've told me, and I think you've even said on our show and your show, so it's technically public, and you were cool with it. I mean, I never mentioned like anybody's names in anything private. I just look. I don't know a lot of people in the org. At the end of the day, I know like a handful of people, like like not even like as friends, just what's the term? Congenially? I'm trying to look for that term.
Acquaintances.
Yeah, like
Congenially.
tangentially. That's what I was looking for. It's not even people that I know like every day of my life that I talk to every day. It's just people that I know from other people or have met once or twice, and that's it. And those people weren't even in these allegations. There's one dude that was mentioned as somebody that didn't do anything about this stuff, but that's the furthest extent. Unless, again, I don't know the people in these allegations because it was kept anonymous, other than Cliff and Justin, of course, the president VP.
Which I do want to say that I do want to clarify real quick that when I interacted with Cliff, and I only met him briefly at YaleCon Memphis 2 years ago. When I met him, it was for a split second. I will say that he was nice to me.
Yeah, it's because you're a dude.
But well, it's not in that. He was probably doing the whole thing of like being nice to like all the new chapter leaders, like trying to get them ingratiated. But it's like. But it was like I basically only said hi and shook his hand. Like it wasn't like it wasn't like he invited me for beers or anything like that.
Well, when he does that, he only does that with females, and he invites them to take food up to his hotel room.
Allegedly.
Which I did overhear him.
What?
But I want to clarify on that. I thought that like, okay, they're having a team meeting, and so obviously, they're going to have like a team meeting or something, and so like, yeah, like obviously that makes sense.
No.
Group bonding activity.
What'd you say, Alex?
So I bet there's a group bonding activity at the end.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean.
Well, see, that's the ploy with it. That's his trick. Is it sounds innocuous, like to anybody that would overhear it, but
I mean,
it's like a bait and switch,
Yeah. To be fair, though, Sean, I have to ask you though, like, how many times throughout your college, and I'm not saying this happened like a lot, but like, weren't there times in college where like you and your, roommates or your classmates would be working on like a project late into the night, and you would be like, hey, let's go grab food and bring it back to the dorm, or something like that. Or maybe it's just because I'm handicapped, but like people would like I would Venmo people money, and then they would like grab something for me, or something like that. So
well, that's his trick. I mean, it's a little weird saying like bring up to my hotel room and I'm the president of Yale and you're a woman and do this for me, and it's just us.
Yeah, Well, and see, I didn't know that it was just women doing that.
Well,
I figured that
exactly.
it was going to be. I figured that it was just going to be like guys and gals doing.
And that's what I'm
doing
saying
that,
is how he
so.
gets is how he was able to be sneaky about it, is because if you were to overhear him saying that, you wouldn't think of anything of it, because he's using a bait and switch on these women. Is he's baiting them with something that sounds innocuous relatively, and then when they get there, it's like, oh, this is not what I expected, and that's how it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, and man, it's just it's really shady. It really
yeah.
is.
The whole organization is shady as fuck. But yeah, I just wanted you to mention that. How many people did mention to you about the video? I'm curious. Was it one person, like five,
It,
3?
well, it was it was one it was one person from Yale, and then like the rest of my audience, like I actually got some DMs from people in my audience being like, I can't believe you went to that, convention. So, and well, and I mean the other thing is, and this is where like I'm not bragging, but like a big portion of my audience, actually actually like two members gave super chatted me like $200,
Whoa.
before I went. So like, fortunately, I was able to basically like my audience helped basically pay my way to YalCon, which was very, I'm very grateful for that. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, those same people also mentioned me being like, like they weren't upset with me, but they were upset with like, just the fact like, wow, like we gave you money and then you gave them, you put our money towards that organization and they did what? So,
Yeah. I mean, that's unfair because you didn't know at the time.
well, no, and they're not, they weren't mad at me.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but
Yeah, interesting. Well, I will say in relation to this, I did send you a DM, and obviously you don't answer it on air, but
yeah,
I do have an interesting question with all this, though.
which I will answer. Yeah, I saw it right before I went on. I saw it right before I went on stream.
Okay,
So.
cool. Yeah, because I'm curious, but that's just wild. I mean, I think it's when you told me this happened yesterday. I mean, I laughed because I thought how quickly you got tied into something that you basically had nothing to do with, other than that like one sentence anecdote story that I put in.
Which I will explain to you off air what that is about. So.
Right. Yeah, of course. But it's just freaking wild. Wild, wild, wild. We're making waves.
Yeah,
I don't
man.
like the truth getting out, allegedly.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that some of these people are actually watching the fucking video, though.
Yeah.
Thank you for all people hate watching this.
Watch it like watching in their office right now.
Yeah, every viewer counts, even if you're fucking in a cult.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Oh, conservatism is a cult as well.
Oh God. No, we're a big tent. God damn it.
I could also tell you that that when I was there, they got really pissed because I said that like Trump is the most libertarian president we've ever had, which like kind of is true in the sense that like in terms of the stuff that you want to be a libertarian on, like drug legalization and whatnot, and like prison reform, like he's actually done that. Like
Wars.
the libertarians.
Wait.
Yeah.
How is the prison reform a libertarian thing? Because won't they like having private prisons?
Well, oh, that's a good point. But well, no, it's the idea that like minorities are disproportionately imprisoned, I guess.
They're very against imprisoning people for minor drug offenses. They are extremely like that's like one of their anti-libertarian, talking points.
That's true. Because I could see it going both ways. Because I could even see like there being an argument that like, private prisons are a libertarian concept because it's instead of having the state deal with this, you're having private companies deal with it.
Oh no, that's absolutely something that they'd probably have a conundrum with that one, because on the one hand, private prisons are extremely how do I put it, corrupt, and on the other hand, because they'll kind of lock people up for those same minor drug offenses that they hate people getting locked up for. But on the other hand, they're private, so what's wrong with it, guys?
Well, you could make a libertarian argument that like if you had private prisons but you legalized all drugs, that'd be okay.
Yeah, they'd probably do something like that. They'd be like, well, it's not the system we want. What we really want is actually to have private prisons and all drugs legalized.
Or they just fucking get rid of prisons and they go back to slavery.
Now you're talking. Now we're in Ancapistan. Oh, did you see the one dude's comment on the video?
What comment?
There was a funny one. He said, so his username was bubblegum space gun, and he has an anime profile picture. And his comment is, damn, all politicians are sexual predators. If people knew the truth, Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, and Biden, it's supposed to be Biden, but it's B-D-E-N, were all Peter Files. He didn't spell pedophiles. It's the name Peter and then Files. Or we're all pedophiles, IRL. What would change? Oh, I guess he's trying to say, I wonder what would change. To be, I doubt much. Hashtag go ANCAP or don't bother.
The fuck? Well, couldn't you make a fucking ANCAP argument for pedophilia? You probably could.
You probably could. You'd be like, hey, if the kid says yes, it's consent, right?
Yeah, like the fine child. Like, so you can make an ANCAP argument for like literally any disgusting like human action.
Eating bugs.
Bugs picking your nose, that's filter feeding.
That's violating my NAP. I can nuke you for that.
Yes.
It's just God. I think it's because I posted the video in r/ANCAP. We attracted a few of them.
Oh jeez.
That is r/ANCAP. I'm curious.
Oh well, let's go down that rabbit hole, shall we?
Make sure you pre-screen that shit out.
Half of them are probably pedophiles, allegedly. Because what I did on Reddit to kind of get in these circles so people were aware of what was going on, I searched libertarian on Reddit because, God, it's our market and it's the people that honestly should be caring about this sort of stuff. And I had r/libertarian, which doesn't even have 500,000 members. It's at 469,000. And yeah, r/anarcho-capitalism has 138,000 members. A free and voluntary society leads to more liberty and opportunity for everyone. Yeah, okay. Oh, God. Oh, they're using the word based. Get out. You guys are not based.
Based and red-pilled.
Okay, I do have to give him credit. That tweet from Lauren Boebert was pretty based, where she's in this like Zoom or some sort of video chat thing, and she has a bunch of guns behind her, and there's a tweet that says, "Unsafe gun storage is no laughing matter. Is this fascist fraudulent really the best Colorado's 3rd District can do?" And Lauren Boebert quote tweeted that with saying, "Who says this is storage? These are ready for use." That is what I'm talking about. Boycott the 2022 Olympics. What is this?
Was in China. I could actually agree with them on that.
It says boycott Beijing 2022, and it has these flags.
Beijing Olympics not that long ago. Like, why the fuck are we having 2 fucking China Olympics?
I thought it wasn't in China in 2022.
it was in China in 2008. I remember that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the 2022 Olympics are going to be in Beijing. Well, that's interesting.
I thought it was supposed to go like we were supposed to have the Japanese Olympics this year.
That's what I thought. Well, I know it got postponed or something.
Yeah, like are we gonna have like 2 Olympics in a fucking row?
I'd be down. I love the Olympics.
Winter Olympics, so that's the difference. Makes
Yeah.
sense. I think they had the Summer Olympics, but fuck China. They have concentration camps
Yeah. Why would they let them host the Olympics? Jesus.
because it's China.
Yeah. That's pretty wild.
The Xi Jinping penis.
Xi Jinping penis. Oh, we're gonna get banned now. I'm gonna.
No, you guys aren't. I've been saying titties on my channel for years now, and I'm still here.
Yeah, but you're not
So-
going after. You're not talking about shy comms in a demeaning sexual manner.
Oh boy, you don't. Oh boy, you don't think you don't think I've talked about my co-host Apex has gotten on and talked about the Chai Coms drunk.
That's
awful.
okay. Fair point. Fair point. I take that back. Nah, I know you're red pill on China, but
drunken Apex talking about China is one of the most hilarious things you'll ever.
Vagina.
what'd you say?
Vagina.
Yes. I'm trying to find a list of like all the Olympic games where they took place.
What
Host
the fuck
list.
is there like Olympic thing? Those like fucking Mardi Gras beads. No,
That's been a thing for a few years. Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand it.
They should do that. You throw the fucking Olympic thing at someone that go take their top off. This is why we don't have the fucking Olympics hosted in fucking Louisiana.
Oh God. Is that what that means when you throw it? You have to take your top off?
Yeah, if you catch it or whatever, like I think it's if you're a girl, you're supposed to take your top off.
Oh jeez. I know where my girlfriend and I can spend summer vacation now.
You do not want to go.
I know.
You hit by a fucking hurricane. Too. It's not like you go there for Mardi Gras and you be careful around them.
I heard it's really like it's kind of like a mini version of Vegas at night.
Yeah, it's one of those places where you don't want to go. It ain't no Princess and the Frog. It's you're getting fucked in the ass by some dude with a knife.
Yeah. Oh, so the Tokyo one is happening in 2020, or it's the 2020 games, but got moved to 2021. In July. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. And then China, Beijing's next. Then Paris is next. Ooh, that's cool. And then Italy, nice. Milan. And then LA, that was the one Trump got for us in 2028. That's cool. That's really cool.
Oh god, I hope they clean up the streets in fucking LA.
See, that's the best part about the Olympics coming to America. Clean up LA. Oh, hopefully for a few months.
Hopefully by the time those Olympics roll around, LA will still be around.
Yeah, true. I was watching a video last night. I remember I mentioned this with you, Sam, when you called like the worst cities in America, and LA was fucking up there. It's so bad. And Philly, dude, Philly has now an unemployment rate of 20% because of COVID. 20. It's really bad. It was like 6%, I think, before, something like that.
It's still pretty high.
I know. Something around that, I forget, but Philly is god awful, dude. He showed one picture of like these potholes in Philly. I'm like, yep, that's about right. Just a whole road full of them.
Take a look at fucking Pittsburgh. Ain't much better.
Yeah.
Probably.
And yet, Pittsburgh was on his list of one of the best cities to live in.
Well, I mean, there's not that much crime rate, but the potholes are a problem.
That's like a Pennsylvania thing, man. I mean, you know, because of the snow and other things, like the potholes happen, but the real problem is the maintenance of the streets. Like, it's just such shit in this state. I knew somebody that worked in PennDOT, and they said it's the worst thing you can imagine. There's a good reason as to why our streets are shit.
Yeah, there's. Well, we have one of the highest gas taxes too. Like someone's skimming some money off the top.
Yeah.
Probably, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they fucking are. Fuck Wolf. Fuck because now they want to go build like more toll roads.
Oh no.
It's in the news. Like it's not enough that we already have like one of the most fucking annoying ass like tolls out there. Those fucking turnpikes, and they're getting it more expensive too. Like they keep taxing those fucking turnpikes. They've already paid for themselves like 20 times over. Like what the fuck's going on?
Hey, tolls. You know, how do we fix tolls? More tolls. It's literally how they view these things.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Sam, you don't know how good you have in Florida. Even though it is Florida, it's a wild place, but you guys have base Gates, base DeSantis, base Loomer, base Trump. It's based up the wazoo, man.
I feel blessed. I really do.
Yeah.
You have all those old people there, though. Like, see, this is where we need to go and bring out that like boomer alert or whatever. We need to float out in Florida.
Boomer alert? You mean boomer defender?
Boomer defender, whatever the. Yes.
It's your invention.
Boomer alert will be the fucking notification when there's a boomer near you.
That's what it sounds like. Boomer
oh my
alert.
god! If I actually had that, it would be going off every like 5 seconds.
It's like one of those things where they're, like how pedophiles have to go and put that shit on their door.
You have to do it for boomers.
Yes.
What if you live with boomers?
I do.
Oh god. You jump off a bridge.
I'm about to.
Well, Alex, it was nice knowing you. Sean and I have to go commit suicide now.
It's rough, man. It gets harder every day.
Dude, I lived with my grandparents once, man. Like, and they're not even boomers. They're older than that.
Lost
they're the lost generation. Yeah. So they're like the hipster boomers.
When you get a cool boomer, though, isn't it like the biggest relief ever?
Yeah, until they go off about QAnon.
I said cool boomers.
Well, it's like you pick two. It's like, are they like Republican? Are they like, it's like one of those things. And like, if they're gonna be any sort of Republican, they're probably a fucking QAnon listener, or they're gonna be like a Republican. So like, you pick one.
I'm gonna have to take a quick bathroom break, boys. I have to relieve my stresses, but I'll be right back.
Man,
don't get out of hand.
Leaving all the time. Nah, how is Florida over here though? I see Texas has gone to shit. Is Florida like cold or is it decent still?
It's like it's in the 60s here, which is kind of cold for us, but it's not too bad.
Fuck, I want to live somewhere where 60s is cold. Fuck, dude, it's been shit. It's been so shit over in PA lately. I can see the appeal to Florida. I definitely can. Like, honest to God, like I'd consider it. I would definitely consider a Florida life. Get to see that Florida air and that Florida man. Like, how common is it for like the Florida man shit to start coming out?
Not very common, but if you go down to Miami, I guess that's like a very common thing. So,
because I heard the other thing too with Florida was there was, what was it, like sunshine laws or something, and like the only reason that there's this like misnomer about that is because everyone knows about it. Like in other states, they probably have similar shit, but we don't have the laws. But I don't know, man. It seems like a fucking chill place. I'd consider it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd consider that Florida.
Yeah, no, it's a nice place.
So like, does it ever like get cold there? Like, I mean,
Oh,
seriously, cold like below like what would be like below like 30 degrees.
yeah, it's gotten below like 30. Um, it's gotten down to like 35 when I've lived here. What you have to understand is like it gets down to 40, and when it gets down to 40, like that's cold anywhere else. That's like cold anywhere, but then when you add in like the humidity, it's like a damn cold tell. So yeah, it's the humidity never like goes away, really.
Yeah, it's that humidity. That how hot does it get in the summers?
Oh, well, like it can get up to like 106 here.
Mm,
Or
yes.
no, it's gotten into like the mid 90s, but then it always gets into the feels like 106 thing.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, I'd consider that shit. I don't know. I went to New York State once. I was in this debate team, and I went over to like, I think it was Cornell, and it was like -10 degrees, but like the wind chill was -30. Dude, I went out to have a cigarette, and like, fucking hell, like my hand was like almost had like frostbite by the time I was done smoking the cigarette.
Oh, oh
I
yeah.
can't stand that shit. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it can get cold
yeah.
for
I don't know why
sure.
people like choose to live in New York City though. Like, I can understand like people living in LA because at least it's got a good climate. But like, what the fuck does New York have? You know?
I mean, media.
I guess.
I mean, like it's certainly glorious. I mean, I don't know. I'm originally from the West Coast, so to me, like New York City kind of seems like a cool place. But
Like, I don't know. It just doesn't like. It seems like all the other like big cities they have something like. It just feels too corporate to me. It's like, oh, you go to New York City, and then it's like, it feels like soulless. Like, I mean, it has a soul. Like, there's arts and all that other stupid shit out there, but like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like there's much else. You get your arts, you get your crafts, and that's about it. There's can't do anything because there's so many damn people living over there too. It's like, holy shit. All these people like I can only imagine like right now with COVID, like that place is probably like ugh. It's probably like fucking hollowed out
yeah,
in terms of like people not like because that's the thing. The cities though, like a lot of the benefits come from having all these like cool people near you, but like in times like these past few months, what you really got going for it, you know, you got taxes and you got like fucking bills. You got taxes and you got, you know, I guess other people living near you who you can like hear having sex through the walls of your like 3 grand apartment. That's still considered shitty. Where like $100,000 anywhere else that's like a pretty damn good amount of money, but in New York City, you have to be on like welfare to find a fucking apartment that under 100
yeah, I
grand.
know.
I'm back.
Oh, there you go.
What'd I miss?
We're talking about New York and
Why
Florida.
anyone would want to live there?
I've been thinking about where I want to move to because obviously I don't want to stay in this stupid state. I have a feeling, depending on what path I go in life, which I have an idea of, maybe, who knows. I feel like I'm going to end up living in Florida, Texas, New York, or DC/Virginia.
Yeah, I'd pick Florida out of all of those if you can do it.
The weather, that's the problem, the climate.
Florida.
Sean, you'll be fine. You've just got to come hang out with me.
See, my girlfriend hates the heat too.
I'm serious. We'll hang out. I won't get you into too much trouble. So
I don't know about that, man. when us boys play, bad things happen. Alex and I know that.
Yeah. Well, you have an air conditioner though.
Yeah, but if I want to actually go outside and, I don't know, explore the world around me.
Go to the beach, you be in the water. It's fucking nice down there.
Yeah, until a thunderstorm comes in a few minutes and I get zapped and I have to, like, leave.
How the fuck, like, that's a good question. Like, with lightning and shit, how the fuck are fish so alive in the ocean when they all be, like, shocked to death?
That's it's just a question.
Yeah, that is something I've always like wondered actually.
I'm sure. Where's the Mythbusters when you need them?
Yes.
Well, I mean, R.I.P. Mythbusters, am I right?
Yeah, it was a great show. Well, they have new guys doing it, but they are just so forced and trying to think of myths, but it's like...
Well, they did most of this, I think. That's the problem.
Exactly. They did all the good material. The OG people. If I were to live... Wait, I'm not trying to dox you, Sam, but what major city do you think... Actually, I'll ask the question a different way. What major city do you think would be a great one to live near in Florida?
I mean, I don't mind doxing, but you want to come to a good city, move to Sarasota.
Ah. Where's that one near? Because I'm looking at, I know the major ones.
Actually, no, move to Tampa. That's where the younger population is.
Yeah, I heard Tampa is, like, it's one of the rated as a really great city to live in. It's just, man, the heat. Ugh. I don't know if I'll be able to stand it. I want to visit Florida badly, though, and, like, get a feel for it. Visit Texas. See what it's like.
Yeah, you think that fucking Florida's bad, you think about Texas.
But it's dry heat, though.
Jeez.
Humidity's worse.
I mean, I get it, but, like, at least you have water you can, like, go into.
You do at Texas.
Got
the
really
Gulf right there.
Yeah, but do you really want to be going in that section?
The illegals do it all the time.
Yeah, but the illegals also, like, have a lot of other issues, you know? You fucking drink the water in, like, Mexico and you get, like, 12 tapeworms.
Wait, but if I lived in Tampa, I'd be going in the same water. It's still the Gulf.
What is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tampa's in that.
I thought all, like, the shit goes and, like, settles around, like, the Texas side. Like, all the, like, industrial runoff and other junk.
I honestly don't know, so I can't say. Then again, you don't really hear much about Texas beaches, do you?
No, that's what I mean. Like, I don't think. Yeah, like Florida. Yeah, they got the beaches.
Would you live in Florida?
I'd consider it if I can find a job there. Sure. I'd just be concerned being that far away from my relatives.
Well, that's how I look at things. Is like I like being near important cities and relatives and whatnot. Actually, we joke about me getting further away from my family, so who knows? I feel like I'm gonna end up either near DC or New York, honestly.
Fuck New York, man. You want to stay the fuck away from, like, it's probably the least fun city. If you could find yourself into Florida, that's where you want to be. I'd take that over New York City.
I would think New York City would be a fun city, though. Not to live in, but to, like, visit and spend time in and explore.
Yeah, it's just, you know, fucking too built up, too, like, urban.
I can understand that.
And the temperature over there, like, I'd take heat over, you know, cold. like in terms
So
of
that's
that
the
shit.
thing, is I'm the other way. I can always take cold over heat. That's why Florida and Texas are kind of like with me. If I could take heat, I'd move to Texas or Florida easily. But because of that, I'm just actually, it's cold in Texas right now. Never mind. Climate change. It's good shit. It's making Texas the way I want it.
You know, they kept talking about this global warming. I'm still waiting for that to happen. You know, I think they were wrong.
You think it's a hoax?
I think, you know, they keep changing. They keep changing the fucking goalposts.
Yeah.
Global warming, now it's like global climate change. You know, they can't stick to one fucking thing and go with it. You know.
You know where I could actually live? New Jersey.
Oh God, fuck that. That's like the poser New York. It's like literally none of the good stuff in New York. It's just, like the only reason you can live there is like if you want to go and live somewhere where and then like work in New York.
That's what I'm saying might end up happening.
God, I wouldn't even do it. Like they got some stupid fucking laws over there in the P. You can't even pump your own gas in New Jersey.
That's the dumbest thing. That should be banned.
That's because like people are so it must be because people are pretty fucking stupid over there. They can't pump their own gas. And I won't be so fucking new.
What was that? You got cut out there. Did we lose Alex? Alex. Oh, there you are. I didn't hear anything you just said. You just completely like cut out. I don't know if it was connection or something.
No, so I like it's just like the poser state. It's like the wannabe New York. Nothing really good is in New Jersey.
Why they got Chris? Oh wait, that's bad. Let's say Chris
Shoot,
Christie.
they have fucking Jersey Shore people. That's like your average New Jerseyan.
Yeah, it's trash. Fucking New Jersey. What a name too. New Jersey.
Well, I think Jersey was a place in like England or something. Like York, it was a place in England as well, like Yorkshire or whatever.
Uh-huh. Well,
That's what I
Milo
named
lives in New Jersey with his husband, and they commute to New York to do his show. I don't know where Gavin lives. I think he lives in New York.
Yeah, he lives in upstate New York, though. He lives in like one of the really wealthy neighborhoods.
Yeah.
But like these days, we have there's work from home and shit. Like if you could live anywhere, which is more likely, like if you didn't have to worry about a job, like as long as you had, if like assuming remote work, where would you choose to live?
Probably Michigan.
Yeah.
I know it's a hot take, but it's got everything I'd kind of like. See, the thing I think about is like when I go down my political path, I would ideally like to be near a lot of things to cut down travel time. Near New York, near DC, somewhat close-ish to Florida. Like being on the West Coast would make no sense. Texas, it's not the worst location. It's got a lot of cool people there for sure, like Alex Jones, but it's a bit out there. Like you'd have to take planes to get everywhere, pretty much.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And that's the problem with Florida. Like when you're in that, New England, Mid-Atlantic area, you're near a lot of like the big shit. So that's why I kind of look in that. Fuck, imagine living in New Jersey.
Yeah, like Florida seems good. Like for the shit they have down there. I mean, you can always take a plane if you want to go somewhere else. But like, man, I'm just this year, man, is red pilled me even more. I've turned to that grumpy old man with the.
You're red pilled on the snow.
I have. Black pilled me.
You mean white pilled?
No, I think white pilled's the opposite of black.
No,
like,
it is. But since the snow's white,
I've been disillusioned by snow.
I still
were wrong.
I understand where you're coming from, but keep in mind the season we're in has had a bit more frequent snow than usual.
Yeah, like to go somewhere with just no. Like, I just don't see the benefit of it anymore. It's cold. You had to go and wear extra layers. You had to go and pay for heat. You know.
I get you. No, I do get you. Like, there technically is no practical benefit. So honestly, I think you should move to Florida, sir.
I might consider that. I don't know. I consider the Carolinas just because I know there's some good jobs over there.
I've been trying to apply for remote jobs in like a lot of these, like Florida, Texas, the Carolinas. I've noticed what ironically has like the most jobs for my major and shit related is actually California.
Do they offer full remote?
Some do, but nobody wants to do an interview with me.
If you can do full remote job in California, that's the way to go. Because then they'll pay you like it'll be less than what they would pay some living in there, but it would still be more than what they'd pay anywhere else. Like, see, that's what
Exactly.
I'm for.
That's what I've been thinking is like, oh, get one of them California jobs with those big paychecks, but don't have to pay the California fucking tax. The California cost of living.
Yeah, that's a smart move if you can pull it off.
I've been trying, but I think only one place in California interviewed me, and he didn't seem like he knew what he was doing much. He was like, he didn't have my resume up. He was like in his like garage or something. It was weird.
See, I hope that's like the one trend that stays from this COVID is just keep this remote work coming
I
because
totally agree, and I think it will.
like it's a win-win for companies because you can pay people less and by hiring people who don't live in these like fucking cities.
Yep. It is very efficient economically because you're not spending a lot on transportation, gas, wear and tear on the car, time commuting, and the company can spend less on you. Obviously, I'd want them to keep the same pay, but realistically, they're not gonna for remote. So economically, it's extremely efficient.
Yeah, and I mean it's also and honestly, like people, I don't like as long as they can have close to the same working output. You know why? Because like that, it saves money for the people over there too, because they aren't going to pay for a building to house you, like
Right.
an office.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it. It's interesting how it works. I mean, I'm with you too. I hope it stays. I think it will. I'm pretty confident it will, because a lot of people don't want to go back to typical working, and a lot of companies realize that it works really well.
Well, yeah, and it would be great for the country because instead of like forcing people to live in these like liberal shitholes, they can choose to live anywhere they want.
Yeah.
It'd help out like the smaller communities, like especially like college towns.
Uh-huh.
Because I think those places, like if you can find a place to live, like college town's probably the best. Like because you don't have the like big city bullshit and the big city prices, but you get a lot of the same amenities because there's a
Yeah.
university.
Well, that's why when I was watching those videos, it was interesting how he broke it down where he had best big cities, but also the best middle and small cities. People forget that Austin, despite it being a booming place, it's not technically a big city yet in terms of population and all that. It's technically a medium city, and it's got colleges, but other cities are small. Like they have colleges, but they're considered small cities. Like State College, I don't even know if it actually would. No, it wouldn't be even a small city because it's that small, but it still has quite a bit.
Yeah, like if I could live somewhere like that, like shit, dude, pretty lit.
Tampa, I think Tampa's for you, even though it's a big city, but um, I honestly think that'd be ideal for you.
I could find a place that's close to the beach that's in a Republican, area. That's where I want to go.
Tampa, man, you're talking Tampa talk.
Well,
That's
didn't like Florida do some weird gun control shit down there recently?
I don't know actually. You have
I
to
had to
show
look,
me that.
I had to look into that. I think it was after like the one shooting with the. I don't
Oh,
know.
Rick Scott did do something.
I don't know what it
Yeah,
was.
I forget. They're generally really good, though, I would think.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll continue our search for the best place to live in America as a patriot. That's all I have to say tonight. Do you have anything else you guys want to say? If not, I'll shut her down.
Nope.
I'm good.
Alrighty. Let's see. Let me find the video. Ugh. I'll shut us down. But yeah, I mean, it's really, last thing I'll say is that it's honestly hard to find the perfect state with all these other states going blue. It's really irritating. Except Virginia would be the perfect state to live in for a lot of people if it wasn't going blue.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you.
That's all I have for y'all tonight. You can subscribe to the channel. Please do so. Sub at the bottom. Sub Sam's channel as well. And follow us on Twitter at VersaNews Media. Follow Sam at SamW_NGC. And he's also on Gab at Sam Whitfield. We're on Gab at Versa, I think, or at Versa Media. It's probably at Versa Media. And stay in touch with us so you can see a follow-up to the Owl 2 video and see Sam's video too when it comes out, and anything else we have in store. I'll see you guys next time. Adios.